Good afternoon, California. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is well in today's present condition and time. Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission Communities of Interest Input Meeting. I am Commissioner Derek Taylor, and I'll be co-chairing today's meeting with Commissioner Isra Ahmad. Ravi, can you take roll, please?
Yes, Chair. Commissioner Toledo, Commissioner Turner,
I'm here.
Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Yee,
Here.
Commissioner Ahmad,
Here.
Commissioner Kutagawa,
Here.
Commissioner Anderson,
Here.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Presente.
Commissioner Foranshari,
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy,
Here.
Commissioner Lamont, Commissioner Sadwani, Commissioner Sanai,
Here.
and Commissioner Taylor.
I am present. Thank you, Ravi. I will start by sharing a little bit about the commission. Every 10 years after the federal government publishes updated census information, California must redraw the boundaries of its congressional, state senate, state assembly, and state board of equalization districts so that the districts correctly reflect the state's population. In 2008, California voters authorized the creation of the commission when they passed the Voters First Act. It authorized the commission to draw the new district lines for state senate, state assembly, and the state board of equalization districts. In 2010, the Congressional Voters First Act added the responsibilities of drawing congressional districts to the commission. The 14-member commission is made up of 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 4 not affiliated with either of those two parties. The commission must draw the district lines in conformity with strict, nonpartisan rules designed to create districts of relatively equal population that will provide fair representation for all Californians. When we receive census data, the commission begins drawing maps using 6 line drawing criteria as outlined in the California Constitution. One of these is minimizing the division of counties, cities, neighborhoods, and communities of interest to the best extent possible. We can obtain the city and county information from those jurisdictions, but we need the neighborhood and communities of interest information from Californians directly. That's why we have launched these communities of interest input sessions to get the valuable information from you directly. We encourage all Californians to participate in this process. If you would rather submit COI, community of interest input over the internet, you can do so from our website or by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. Again, that is drawmycacommunity.org. You can skip the line and go online. Now I will call on commissioners to introduce themselves and to say hello. To see the biographies for all 14 commissioners or for additional information or to sign up for our emails, please visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org. Again, that is wedrawthelinesca.org. Please also follow the California Citizens Redistricting Commission on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Our handle is at WeDrawTheLinesCA. There, you will find a lot of useful information about redistricting and updates from the California Commission. We will begin with my co-chair, Commissioner Isra Ahmad.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'm very excited to continue to learn about the communities in Los Angeles County and the surrounding areas. And I'm excited to take on the second session of today's meeting as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Ahmad. We have Commissioner Linda Akutagawa.
Hi, everyone. Hi, California, and especially hello to LA County. Born and raised in the county and grew up in the east side of LA. And so I'm looking forward to hearing not only from those of you on the east side, but definitely want to hear from all of you in LA, whether it's the west side, the South Bay, Long Beach, or the San Fernando Valley. So and also don't want to forget the Southeast, the Gateway communities. So looking forward to hearing from all of you. Please call in and tell us about your communities.
Thank you, Linda. We always also look forward to hearing from our furry friend that lives with you. Next, we have Commissioner Jane Anderson.
Hello, California, and hello, people from Los Angeles County. I'm coming to you from Berkeley, California, San Francisco Bay Area, but I did work for a short time in Los Angeles, and I'm quite familiar with driving all around and through the area. So I look forward to hearing your communities of interest today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. We have Commissioner Alicia Fernandez.
Buenas tardes, California, especialmente los que viven en el condado de Los Ángeles. Soy Alicia Fernández del condado de Yolo y estoy ansiosa por escuchar acerca de sus comunidades. Good afternoon, California, especially those from Los Angeles County. I'm Alicia Fernandez from Yolo County, and I am very excited to continue to hear about all your wonderful communities in LA County.
Thank you, Commissioner Fernandez. We have Commissioner Neil Fornashari.
Morning, California and LA County. I'm Neil Fornashari, coming to you from San Joaquin County in the Central Valley. Looking forward to hearing about your communities of interest and what's important to you today. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Fornashari. We have Commissioner Ray Kennedy.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Ray Kennedy, joining the meeting today from my home in Morongo Valley, which is a rural Joshua Tree Gateway community in southern San Bernardino County. Really looking forward to hearing about what makes your community special to you. So thank you very much. Looking forward to it all.
Thank you, Commissioner Kennedy. Not with us at the moment is Commissioner Antonio Lamont, but I'm sure he'll be joining us or listening in. So we will move to Commissioner Sarah Sadwani, my work neighbor.
That's right. Welcome, everybody, and good afternoon on a Friday evening. I'm very happy to be here. I'm calling in today from Pasadena, California, and very excited to hear more about Los Angeles County, where I have called home for almost 2 decades. I'm very excited to hit that mark. So welcome to all.
Thank you, Commissioner Sadwani. We will move on to Commissioner Patricia Sinai.
Thank you, Chair. Saludos, Los Ángeles, especialmente a mi mami y mi papi. Les mando saludos desde San Diego. Soy Patricia Sinai. Hello, Los Angeles, especially my mommy and my daddy, and the rest of my family who lives in all different parts of LA. I send you greetings from San Diego. I'm Patricia Sinai.
Thank you, Commissioner Sinai. We will move on to Commissioner Pedro Toledo.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. My name is Pedro Toledo, and I come to you from Petaluma, California in Sonoma County, heart of the wine country. And I'm looking forward to hearing all about your communities of interest in Los Angeles and throughout the state. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Toledo. We have Commissioner Trina Turner.
Well, hello, Southern California. I am Trina Turner, and I come to you from the amazing Central Valley, the San Joaquin Central Valley, food basket of the world. And I'd just like to say I'm excited to hear every one of your stories and wanting you to know that you can sing it, you can dramatize it, or you can just speak it. But we are looking forward to hearing from each and every one of you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner. Also seated on the commission, but not with us at the moment, is Commissioner Angela Vasquez. and I'm sure she is intent and anxious for your testimony. We will move on to facts, facts, facts. Commissioner Russell Yee.
Just the facts. Greetings to 10 million plus Californians in Los Angeles County. Looking forward to hearing more from you today, especially if you have any film references or popular music references, which we got last time we were in LA. We've been told that the great challenge of redistricting in California begins with the challenge of redistricting LA County. So we need your help. Please tell us about your communities of interest, and we'd love to hear from you today.
Thank you, Commissioner Yee. And last is myself, Commissioner Derek Taylor. I am a married father of 3, currently living in Los Angeles proper. So I am an LA County resident. I grew up in the San Gabriel Valley. And today I brought a prop. Due to our discussion yesterday, we brought up the conversation, or I brought up the conversation of batting gloves. So I brought my youngest son's prized possession, LA Dodger batting gloves. But what I found interesting was that this is a shared experience throughout the state of California. Commissioner Fornashari, Commissioner Yee, Commissioner Sinai, we all have shared experience in ballparks, in stadiums, and outdoor activities. And it's amazing that those communities bring us all together. So I just wanted to bring out some of the similarities of us all. And I look forward to hearing your input. So now on to some housekeeping rules. This meeting is primarily for communities of interest testimony focused on Los Angeles County and surrounding areas. However, anyone in California can call in to provide input. General public comments will take place at the end of the meeting. Although the Commission has divided up California into 11 zones, that in no way is related to or reflective of redistricting lines or boundaries. The Commission created the zones to assist commissioners and staff in their outreach efforts only, not as an indication of planned boundaries. Today, we are joined by our line drawing team, Haystack DNA and Q2 Data and Research, who will be displaying a map of the area that attendees describe. Please start with the area you would like to discuss and be as specific as possible about the boundaries of where your community is located. It is our goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of Los Angeles, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your timer will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. We are also joined by Margarita, a Spanish-English interpreter, and Katie, our comment moderator, who will be introducing attendees when it is their turn to speak. When you join the meeting, please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. If you have registered for a time slot, we encourage you to call in during your appointment time slot. When it is your turn to speak, Katie, our comment moderator, will be identifying you by your assigned unique ID number. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. The comment moderator will assign you a speaker order number before you begin speaking, and please make a note of this for future reference. You'll be able to use this number to identify your COI testimony on our website at a future date. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for English speakers and a 6-minute time limit for those with an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. At the beginning of your input, you will see a map on the screen. Please remind the mapper what area you would like to see on the screen and be as specific as possible about the boundaries of where your community is located. Registration is not required to participate in this public input meeting. The public has the option of calling in during this meeting to get in the queue to speak. The call-in information and access code is listed on the live stream. While there are no clear rules on how to define a community of interest, we've identified ways for you to describe your community. Begin with your county or city. Mention the street names and significant locations in your neighborhood to help us identify the parameters of your community. Tell us, what are your shared interests? We would like to know what brings you together. Let us know what is important to your community. Are there nearby areas you want to be in a district with? Are there nearby areas you do not want to be in a district with? And please explain why or why not. Has your community come together to advocate for important services, better schools, roads, or health centers in your neighborhood? Also, we invite you to use the Community of Interest tool to draw a map and describe your community. And you can do this by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. Again, skip the line, go online, submit your COI input today. We will now begin the public input sessions, and I will pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator. We will start with people who are registered and then open the phone lines if there is time before the next session. Katie?
Yes, Chair.
It's all yours.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, you will be identified by your assigned unique ID number, which you were emailed yesterday. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit for English speakers and a 6-minute time limit for those with an interpreter. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. It is the Commission's goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific neighborhood of Los Angeles, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3 or 6-minute testimony will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. At the end of your public input, or the end of your time, you will be reconnected in a listen and view only mode. At the beginning of your input, please remind the mapper of what area you would like to see on the screen. And I'd like to ask Margarita to please interpret our instructions at this time.
Thank you. Bienvenidos a la sesión de aportaciones del público. Por favor, use el botón para alzar la mano que está en la parte inferior de la pantalla para ponerse en la fila. Cuando sea su turno para hablar, usted será identificado con un número de identificación único que se le asignará, el cual se le mandó por correo electrónico ayer. Usted será reconectado a la sesión con la habilidad de prender su video y o su audio. Luego usted será asignado un número de orden de orador para hablar antes de que empiece a hablar. Por favor, tome nota del número de orden para hablar para su referencia en el futuro. La comisión va a aplicar un límite de tiempo de 3 minutos para cada orador en inglés y un límite de tiempo de 6 minutos para cada uno que tenga a un intérprete. Se les dará un aviso de 30 segundos cuando le quede ese tiempo y un aviso de 15 segundos cuando le quede ese tiempo. La meta de la comisión es de encontrar el área en el mapa del cual usted gustaría hablar en su testimonio antes de que empiece a dar su testimonio. Si usted está dentro de una área específica o vecindario específico de Los Ángeles, por favor, menciónelo con el nombre. Una vez que ubiquemos el área al que se refiere usted, empezará su testimonio de 3 o de 6 minutos. Los asistentes no podrán compartir su pantalla. al final de la aportación pública o al final de su tiempo, usted será reconectado como escuchante en el modo de escuchante nada más y para poder ver. Al principio de su comentario, por favor, recuérdele a la persona encargada del mapa de cuál área gustaría que pongan en la pantalla. Gracias.
Thank you so much, Margarita. Right now, we will have 014, and up next will be 009. 014, I will be promoting you now. Zero 014. Your speaker order number will be number 1. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you will please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Lancaster and Palmdale on the 14 freeway, northern Los Angeles County. And my area will be, even narrow it in a little bit more in that area. And then as you go up the 14, crossing the Kern County line into Roseman. Thank you. This is the general area. My name is Marjorie Hazlitt. I have been in the Antelope Valley for 4 decades now. I grew up in another part of the country in California, but I've been here for 40 years. I've lived in several places in the Antelope Valley, in the middle of Lancaster, out in the middle of the desert, in town, and now where I'm at in Palmdale. The Antelope Valley is part of northern Los Angeles County, but we are a different environment, a different cultural community. We are high desert. It's very dry and windy up here. Our main occupations up here that have been long lasting, there has been agriculture, much in the alfalfa, and it's gone into carrots and onions, big in aerospace. There are many people that commute from this area, even out from Lake Los Angeles, Palmdale, Roseman, that commute down the 14 freeway into the LA area. The 14 freeway is a major access point between people from the Antelope Valley into the LA area. I have people I know that live in Rosemond and Mojave that come into Lancaster and Palmdale to shop. There are people in this area that go work out at Edwards Air Force Base, commute out there. There we go. So this whole area is similar. In fact, where I am over near where your hourglass is, I can see the mountains that are on the north side of the Antelope Valley from Rosemond. You can cross this valley in about 20 to 30 minutes. So it's a very common climate, people on their jobs, where they shop. Mike Garcia, our current congressman for the southern part of the Antelope Valley, has done a marvelous job working with Sheriff Villanueva from the LA County Sheriff's Department, with our supervisor, Catherine Parker, Assemblyman Lackey, and other elected officials on cleaning up the area out on Lake Los Angeles on the eastern Antelope Valley. There were many drug cartels. They only got out about 40% of them. These are drug cartels from 5 different countries that were identified.
30 seconds.
Thank you. And I would like to keep the redistricting to be in District 25 and even up to include Roseman and Mojave and possibly into California City, because we're all in the same Antelope Valley area.
15 seconds.
Thank you. And we have so much in common up here, and we need to be in this district. Congressman Garcia has done wonderful. Thank you, and please consider keeping us and including these other areas in District 25. Thank you.
Time.
Caller, Christian, do we still have the caller on the line?
We can bring them back. Just a moment, Chair.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got it.
Just a moment.
Oh, they came through. Okay. Speaker 1, you can now enable your audio and video again. The chair would like to have clarifying questions, please.
Oh, okay, certainly. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate the input that you've provided so far. Can you give us your definition of the Antelope Valley, possibly with the northern southern border and the east-west border?
The mountain ranges between Los Angeles and the Antelope Valley are definitely our dividing area. And as you come up over through Acton is in the mountains, and you just come up over. And then okay, right about where you're at, those are the mountains, and you just follow the road. Right about the back up, and right about there, right, that's the Antelope Valley. And then Roseman. Okay, and Roseman is part of the Antelope Valley. And that whole area between Roseman and Lancaster, there along the 14, it's just wide open desert, this whole area. And up through Mojave, it's wide open desert. And Edwards Air Force Base is also part of it, California City. And then once you just get north of Mojave, you're starting to get into the mountains again. Yeah, right about there, up there, that's right in Kern County. And in that area, you get back into the mountains again, and you're going over the mountains, and Tehachapi takes you into Bakersfield. But this whole area of Roseman and Mojave is part of the Antelope Valley, Lancaster, Edwards Air Force Base. Yes, this is the area I'm speaking about. It's all high desert, fairly flat. It's not completely flat. And then, do you need any more? Is that good for you,
No,
or you want more?
That's perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And and one more thing. That red line that goes into San Bernardino County, but that is just a continuation of our desert. Very similar climates. It's the same climate, but this is the area. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right now we have 009. Up next will be 012. 009, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 2. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Oh. 009, it appears you connected without audio. If you go to the lower left corner of your screen and you select your audio settings, you should see an option to connect your audio. There you are. You can now enable your audio in the lower left corner of your screen.
Okay, hello?
There you are. Your speaker order number is number 2. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, and the floor is yours.
Okay, if you could pull up the coastal part of Los Angeles County that touches the Santa Monica Bay. It would be the cities of Palos Verdes, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach, El Segundo, Marina del Rey, and Santa Monica. Yeah. So my name is Betty, and I'm a resident of Manhattan Beach. And I'm requesting that when drawing the district lines, you keep the beachfront cities together from Palos Verdes up the coast to Santa Monica. Manhattan Beach is in an area of the region that is referred to as the South Bay. Residents of the South Bay, like me, live here because we share similar lifestyles. We enjoy the waves, the consistent waves for surfing and swimming, and the sandy beaches with courts for playing volleyball. We ride our bikes along the path that connects Santa Monica all the way to Palos Verdes. And as much as we enjoy our small town feel, we definitely benefit economically by being a tourist destination. We also share key environmental concerns when it comes to our oceans and our air. We work together to protect our coastline from pollution and coastal erosion. The airplanes from LAX do impact our quality of life, so we work with our state and federal leaders to address air pollution and jet noise mitigation issues. And that's my testimony there. Thank you for listening. And again, my request is to please keep the South Bay coastal cities together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 012, and up next will be 016. 012, I will be promoting you now. 012, your speaker order number will be number 3. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Heidi Rayburn, or Heidi Heinrich. Good evening, commissioners and other members of the public. To provide you some background, I'm an Army veteran and a retiree of the County of Los Angeles. My community of interest is Canyon Country, which is the southwest portion of Santa Clarita Valley. At the 14 and 5. So a little bit to the right, there you go, down slightly. And stay on that line in the bottom blue area of Santa Clarita. See that tip there? Back where you see the little part that goes on the other side of the freeway. So to your right, up to the right, down slightly, much further. The first peninsula that is off to the right across the gray line in the Santa Clarita Triangle there. Further down, there. That is my community, though I call home the entire Santa Clarita Valley. So during my time with the county, I worked in Los Angeles, Lancaster, and Santa Clarita. I'm a California native, and for more than 20 years, I've lived in Santa Clarita Valley. We're a diverse community of horse ranches, suburbs, urban areas, and booming industry. The Santa Clarita and Antelope Valley are both part of California's 25th congressional district. These two valleys are uniquely geographically positioned from the rest of Los Angeles County. Both valleys are separated from our Los Angeles neighbors by the Newhall Pass. In times of natural disasters such as fires and earthquakes, both valleys have been cut off from our neighbors to the south for periods of time that range from days to weeks. We also have more open space than other areas of Los Angeles County. Combine that with the surrounding forests, and we have inherent risks of large, uncontrolled brush fires. Brush fires in many communities make air quality also an issue for both valleys. And being more of a desert environment, our water needs must always be balanced with our available supply. Removing any part of Santa Clarita from the 25th district will divide our community in every sense. The Santa Clarita Valley is diverse in so many ways. We consist of every socioeconomic status, with multiple nonprofits in the valley providing that assistance to those in need. We're diverse in race and ethnicity. In my community alone, that peninsula that you see on that map, there are 21 different languages and dialects spoken. Our political makeup in the entire valley is ideal in that it's close to being evenly balanced between Democrats, Republicans, and no party preference voters. Our district is a microcosm of a balanced political system. Dividing or removing any part of our district means that funding our infrastructure will be parsed out. We will not only be competing with our own communities for government resources, but most likely with areas of Southern California that don't have the same needs or challenges that we have currently affecting our district. Keeping the 25th district together is the most equitable choice for our community. Any changes that must be made should be done with great care to not unbalance our composition in any way. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 016, and up next will be 015. 016, I will be promoting you now. Zero 016, your speaker order number is number 4, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And you can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, commissioners. My area of interest is the city of Long Beach. Again, thank you very much for allowing me to speak today. My name is Gloria Cordero, and I am a current Long Beach Water Department Commissioner. The Long Beach Water Department serves 500,000 people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Our utility varies in size and scope from over 100 years ago, but our mission has always remained the same, and that is to provide excellent customer service, high quality, reliable drinking water, and the collection of wastewater in an environmentally responsible way. Our customers are primarily Long Beach residents and businesses, and we're extremely proud that our customers have really stepped up to the plate over the last several years during the drought and are conserving well above what we expected. We are grateful that 10 years ago, the State Independent Redistricting Commission kept Long Beach mostly together. Before independent redistricting, we were gerrymandered quite a bit. We have been well served over the last 10 years with Long Beach as the core of congressional, Senate, and Assembly districts. We want to stay as intact as possible, please. This has allowed us to partner with our elected officials at every level of government to continuously improve our sustainability within our city, water conservation, and of course, good quality customer service. At our Long Beach Water Department, we have been able to offer programs and resources to both multi-family tenants and property owners and managers to conserve water, but also to lower their costs. We've supported an incredibly popular lawn to garden program. We've launched recently the DIME program, which is a year-long pilot program to retrofit multifamily dwellings with new water efficient appliances. And we've also done our best to provide sponsorships to promote community and civic activities in the city of Long Beach. Please support the collaboration we've built by having the majority of Long Beach kept together, and let us continue the good work that we have done. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 015, and then up next in the queue will be 006. 015, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 5, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm going to be discussing here the city of Long Beach. If you could designate that, please. And as you see, the city of Long Beach off the shore there is, or along the shoreline is the Port of Long Beach. So, commissioners, thank you again. My name is Mario Cordero. I've been a Long Beach resident since 1974 and currently part of the Long Beach Harbor Department. And I have served as executive director since 2017 at the Port of Long Beach. And prior to that time, I served 8 years as a commissioner. I'm here today to advocate to keep Long Beach together during this redistricting process. Our port and city should stay united. The way Long Beach is districted now, it has been very helpful for the port to be able to work hand in hand with our elected state and federal representatives. The specific needs of our port are vital to the economic stability and growth of our region and our nation. Supply chain issues can start and stop at the Port of Long Beach, and Long Beach has been very well served by our current district lines for Congress, Senate, and Assembly. We are grateful that 10 years ago, the State Independent Redistricting Commission kept Long Beach mostly together, and we want to stay intact as much as possible. You're hearing from others in the Long Beach community because we had to advocate 10 years ago to keep our city as together as possible and it worked. The city and the Port of Long Beach desires to continue to lead on economic growth that is sustainable and more climate resilient, and we need strong legislative representation that will continue to be dedicated to these goals. Since that time, we have had a huge policy wins and directed tens of millions in federal and state resources to our city. Our legislative leaders have delivered on funding for clean trucks programs, zero emission technology, labor protection, and COVID economic relief. Because the large majority of Long Beach is currently kept intact in the single state and congressional districts, we have been empowered to better serve our local communities. So in summary, we look forward to work together to truly benefit the city of Long Beach and the Port of Long Beach. Please support the collaboration that we have built, and let us continue to work on that collaboration. Keep the Port of Long Beach together with the rest of the city. So thank you so much for hearing my commentary.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right now will be 006, and then up next in the queue will be 001. 006, I'll be promoting you now. .006, your speaker order number is number 6. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Los Angeles County, specifically San Fernando Valley, and more specifically Encino, which is west of the 405. Yes, that's it. Good afternoon. My name is Glenn Bailey. I was born in Los Angeles. I lived in the Valley all my life, and so I could really speak about anything in the Valley. But today, with the time limitations, I'm going to focus on the community of Encino, which is one of the neighborhoods of the city of Los Angeles. Encino has a long history in terms of the going back to the 1700s with Spanish explorers. But I just want to mention a few historical things I think are particularly relevant. One is a survey that was done in 1868, the Rancho El Encino survey, dated September 1868, shows basically the existing community from approximately Mulholland to the south and is part of the Santa Monica Mountains, the area approximately where the 405 freeway is now going north, the area, keep going, the area of Victory Boulevard to the north, which is the top end of the green, that's Victory Boulevard. And then I'm not really sure the westerly, if it's White Oak Avenue versus Lindley Avenue, but that's Lindley that you have the cursor on. So you can easily find that survey in the documents. It appears in City of Los Angeles and some other connections. The other historical incident that's I think significant to mention is the 1938 floods, a 5-day storm that killed 144 people from the Valley all the way down to Long Beach. And a result of that flood, there were improvements. At the time they were considered improvements, but anyway, the channelization of the LA River, including the creation of the Sepulveda Dam, and the purchase of property, farmland in Encino, which is now known as the Sepulveda Basin Recreation area. And that's the green area that's showing on the map there. That's 2,150 acres. So, and the LA River is basically, when you see the blue going through that green area, that is the LA River. And the dam is right there. Stop. Okay, right there where the wording is. That's where the dam is. So the juxtaposition between the residential areas to the south there and this open space, the second largest open space in the city of Los Angeles, and these historical boundaries is important to keep intact for the community of Encino to be in the same district,
15 seconds.
both state and federal. In terms of neighbors, anything that's north of Mulholland, because I think the valley identification is more than those that are not in the valley. So the adjoining could be Sherman Oaks, Tarzana, or to the north, Lake Balboa.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will have 001, and up next, we will have 002. I would like to invite 004 and 008 to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the comment queue as you have appointments during this session. Thank you so much, 004. I do see your hand. You are in line. 001, I will be promoting you now. 001, your speaker order number will be number 7. If you can please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
We sure can. The floor is yours.
Okay. I'm going to be speaking today about the northern Los Angeles County section of the map, specifically the Santa Clarita Valley with Stevenson's Ranch on the west, Castaic at the north, and the Antelope Valley directly east up to and including the east border of Los Angeles County. And there's 2 small communities in between these, which are Agua Dulce and Acton, and then also south to the northern San Fernando Valley. So down where Sylmar is and Porter Ranch. Yes, you got it. So my name is Jackie, and I'm a 36-year resident of the Santa Clarita Valley. I am civically engaged in my community and volunteer for many nonprofit organizations in the Santa Clarita and Antelope Valleys. Drawing the lines for our portion of the state is fairly easy since our portion of Los Angeles County is neatly bordered with mountains, creating the valleys in the 25th Congressional District. This fact alone is what keeps us close-knit, and because we share the same valley bowl together. Current district boundaries work well for our community landscape for us with one exception, Simi Valley in the Ventura County, which we advise should be removed from the 25th Congressional District and our assembly districts. There are many factors that tie us together, but first I'll talk about infrastructure and transportation. Because housing is more affordable in the Santa Clarita and Antelope Valleys, we are mostly commuters and drive long distances to the San Fernando Valley and the city of Los Angeles to the south. This makes our infrastructure and transportation of great concern to our residents. We share the same freeway system and railway, the Metrolink from Lancaster to Burbank, for example. For this reason, we should continue to share the same district and add in all the LA County residents in these communities, including those which are currently carved out. Residents from our community share this in common. Access to jobs and universities lie to the south of us using the 5 and 14 freeways leading to the 405, a fact which caused us some grief after the 1994 earthquake when the 5 and 14 intersection was closed due to collapse. That's a concern that Simi Valley does not share with us, and they do not use our freeways to commute, but the San Fernando Valley does. Of course, we share Los Angeles County resources, which keeps us centered as a community of interest, such as the County Health Department. Never was it more apparent how separate Simi Valley is from the rest of us than during this pandemic. There are 2 separate sets of rules for each of these counties. Our assembly and congressional reps would best represent us if there was one set of guidelines for their jurisdictions. I also urge the commission to consider keeping our valleys whole by including the parts of Lancaster and Quartz Hill that are currently excluded, and by adding more of the northern part of San Fernando Valley, which all share commuting infrastructure and county resources in common.
30 seconds.
In summary, the 25th Congressional District should comprise of Los Angeles County communities only, and not the Simi Valley in Ventura County, nor any cities in Kern County. And here a word about assembly districts.
15 seconds.
Again, because of the Valley Bowls, 8038 should include Canyon Country, and then 8036 could begin just east of this. and include the remainder of LA County to the east of the 14 freeway.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have 002, and up next will be 007. 002, I will be promoting you now. (002), your speaker order number will be number 8, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please run the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity. I'll be talking about the areas of Santa Clarita and specifically Valencia and the Antelope Valley, currently Congressional District 25 and AD District 38. I have been a resident of Santa Clarita for 33 years and an educator for 20 years. And so I'm very familiar with the makeup of our community and what ties us together. And it is my understanding that the redistricting community's goal is to combine communities of interest. And Santa Clarita and Antelope Valley meet that criteria. But I want to reiterate what the previous speaker said, that Simi Valley does not meet the same criteria. Simi does not share the same policing, fire responders, or community college boundaries as Santa Clarita and Antelope Valley. The same transportation routes as the previous speaker outlined. And it doesn't make sense for districts to cross county boundaries. And again, that was illustrated by the recent COVID crisis and the difference in the guidance, the health guidance and requirements, which made it very difficult for our representatives to give consistent, clear information to the people in their district. So the needs of LA County, North LA County, are different than Ventura County. And so I would ask that this redistricting community or committee please keep the communities of Santa Clarita and Antelope Valley together and keep the only Los Angeles County communities in Congressional District 25. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 007, and up next will be 017. 007, I'll be promoting you now. (007), your speaker order number will be number 9, if you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
I would like to discuss the area from Altadena to Claremont, north of the 210. So my name is Joshua Milone. I am a resident of Monrovia, California. I'm calling today to ask that you keep the communities north of the 210 corridor whole and together. These are communities that hug or border the Angeles National Forest, and we share the same type of life experiences. For example, we, especially in Monrovia, we deal with the wildlife coming down on a regular basis, searching for food and water. We've dealt recently with issues of kind of local media getting involved in bears and stuff like that. Like many families in our community, my family enjoys our local trails. I'm an avid trail runner. I run all the way from the Pasadena, Eaton Canyon areas, Altadena areas. I enjoy the Sierra Madre, Chantry Flats trails. I do a lot of Monrovia trail running. My wife and my father-in-law do a lot of hiking up in the trails. They're kind of very personal. We go up to Monrovia Canyon Park. Sometimes these are tourist destinations where a lot of people kind of flood in from other areas of Los Angeles, and there's some issues with weekend warriors bringing traffic and parking issues to our communities. So that's one reason to keep it together. Over the last few years, and it's kind of becoming an increasing issue, is fires. With the Bobcat fire, that was very personal to us. That was very close to home. That was right next to my mother-in-law's house. She saw the flames and had to be evacuated. So I think it's essential to have our county, state, and federal officials kind of working together when there's resources and representation in dealing with the fires, especially with some of these the changing climate conditions we have. Basically, in summary, I request to keep the residents of the 210 corridor in the same district. We share a lot of the same concerns and the beautiful forest and trails and hiking experiences north of the Angeles National Forest. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have 017, and up next will be 019. 017, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 10. If you'll let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. The area of interest is City of Long Beach, please. My name is Eleanor Torres. I'm Director of Government Relations for the Port of Long Beach. I'm here today, like many others, to advocate to keep the City of Long Beach together during the redistricting process. The port, as the second largest container port in the nation, has complex and unique needs that are vital to our regional and national economy. The port accounts for more than 50,000 direct and indirect jobs in Long Beach alone, 575,000 in Southern California, and 2.6 million throughout the United States. We move $200 billion worth of cargo each year. Keeping the city unified has resulted in securing significant state and federal funding for our communities to be more sustainable while being such an important economic engine. Now more than ever, as the impacts of the COVID crisis will reverberate for many years to come, and we are about to embark on the most ambitious projects to date to combat climate change, we need to remain together. Successful legislative advocacy is always complex with many, many challenges. Keeping us unified in state and congressional districts with a unified voice and message will result in more jobs, cleaner air, and a stronger economy. We have made so many strides these last 10 years. Please let us continue to run the course together. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sorry, Chair. Right now we have 019, and up next we will have 004. 019, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number will be number 11. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Corey Allen. I'd like to also speak about the City of Long Beach. And as I mentioned, my name is Corey. I'm a 15-year resident of the great city of Long Beach, and I currently serve as a member of the newly formed Equity and Human Relations Commission, where we are working to implement and expand the city's framework for racial reconciliation, which is aimed at elevating the marginalized communities within our city. As I said, over the last 15 years, our city has grown into such a dynamic and vibrant city with really awesome communities throughout that are weaved in. And so I join the chorus of my neighbors and my fellow community leaders in asking you to keep the city of Long Beach intact and as whole as possible as you guys consider these state and federal legislative districts. making sure that we have a unified and consistent voice in the state legislature and in the House of Representatives will be critical as we move forward on these reconciliation frameworks and making sure that those voices are truly represented in the state legislature and in the halls of Congress. So again, thank you for your time and the work that you're doing, and please do your best to keep Long Beach all together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite those who have appointments in general to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen if you wish to give comment during this session. I'd like to invite all of those unique IDs with appointments in the queue to use the raise your hand button if you wish to give comment during this session. Right now we will have 004, and then up next will be 025. 004. 004, I will be promoting you now. (004), your speaker order number is number 12. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Unique ID number 004.
Can you hear me?
We sure can. The floor is
Okay.
yours. Oh, you're going to need to mute
Oh, no.
your...
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is An-York Lee. I live in Warner, California, zip code 91789 for the last 33 years. And my point is very simple. And in the past, in the 90s, during the state assembly election, because of the competition, one of the winners cut a portion of the Hacienda High out of the whole area. So we don't want this happen again during the redistrict. I want to point out, Warner, from Warner to the west, include Hacienda High, Roland High, and City of Industry, West Covina, and to the east is Diamond Bar and Pomona. We want to make sure this area will be together. If we try the Valley Boulevard or Colima, and you will pass through the area in 15 minutes. So people in this area share the same economic activity, and the culture, because of the new immigrant, a lot are in common. So I want to assure the history will not happen again from Hacienda High all the way to Pomona should be in the same area at the state and the federal legislation. So that is my point. I also will mail out a summary of what I said to the commission, and in case and there's some question, you can contact me. That's my concern, and I appreciate you give me the time to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 025. And then up next will be 037. 025, you just lowered your hand if you meant to do that. No, you did not. Okay. Right now we will have 025. I will be promoting you now. (025), your speaker order number will be number 13. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. And if you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you and good evening, commissioners. I'd like to speak about South Los Angeles, 90044. The boundaries are west of Rosecrans, La Cienega, the 10 freeway, and Alameda Street. May I begin?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, so greetings. My name is Kirk Samuels, and I'm the Director of Civic Engagement for Community Coalition and the convener of the People's Bloc, which is a multiracial alliance of 34 organizations that are dedicated to the inclusion of everyday residents, conducting public education, and proposing solutions to the redistricting process that promote the political voice, representation, and access to resources of historically underrepresented groups. These groups include different faiths and ethnicities ranging from Asian Pacific Islanders, Latinx, and Black folks. We are unified around three key principles, the first of which being equity and solidarity to dismantle white supremacy. The second being community participation, ensuring that we are lifting up the voices of the folks who have been traditionally not included in the process to ensure that they are given a platform. And lastly, centering community building organizations in the process as we aim to make this as inclusive and equitable as possible. After hosting over a dozen community of interest workshops with over 60 community residents, I've seen a common theme lifted in almost every session. That theme is gentrification and displacement. The folks of South Los Angeles share a common concern that their safe space, the only place in this great city that is truly theirs, is being broken apart by gentrification and displacement. Folks are adamant that their communities not only be kept together, but strengthened through this redistricting process. Their vision for this redistricting process aligns perfectly with our mission to create space for everyday folks to advocate for solid voting bases and a chance to elect a candidate that truly represents their interests. We know that from the last redistricting cycle that the Black population in the county supervisorial district 2 has dropped by 7%, while other demographics have grown. And in Los Angeles, 2 Black Senate districts, the population has dropped by 4% and 8% respectively. We are literally experiencing the erasure of Black neighborhoods that raised us in the communities that we call home. It is frightening for many residents, so commissioners, please consider the district maps of South Los Angeles when it comes to creating your draft maps. So in closing, I would like to reiterate that South LA has not only been home, but a place of wellness, identity, and culture for thousands of Black people for decades. This place means a lot to us, and keeping our communities together will ensure our place in the city. Thank you, commissioners, for hearing me, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Paul, are you still there?
Just a moment, Chair.
Thank you.
One moment. 025. I will be promoting you now. You can now enable your audio. The chair has some clarifying questions.
Yes.
Thank you for your input thus far. Just for clarification, can you describe your boundaries of South LA from the north, south, east, and west?
Sure. So going from the south, we would have Rosecrans. Going from the west, we would have La Cienega. On the north, we have the 10 freeway, and to the east, we have Alameda Street.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you so much. I would like to invite 008 and 024 to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen if you wish to give comment during this session. Right now we will have 037, and then up next will be 021. Zero 037, I will be promoting you now. 037, if you can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. Your speaker order number will be number 14, if you'll please make note of that. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Stuart Waldman. I'm president of the Valley Industry and Commerce Association, VICA. I'm also representing the San Fernando Valley Redistricting Coalition. I'm calling in regards to the San Fernando Valley.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. And I appreciate that map. I have a map behind me as well. The San Fernando Valley is a geographical area roughly bounded by the Santa Susana Mountains to the north and west, the Mulholland Drive to the south, and the San Gabriel Mountains to the east. It lies wholly within Los Angeles County. Our goal is to maximize the connection that legislators have with the San Fernando Valley. Our community is best served by a redistricting that maximizes the number of districts that either wholly contained within the San Fernando Valley or which the Valley is the most influential voter bloc. To ensure full and adequate representation for the San Fernando Valley, we support Valley-only districts. In the past, the Valley's been cut up significantly. In fact, in the 2008, there was a ballot measure to have transportation projects funded. The Valley did not receive anything as part of that, even though we make up over 40% of the city of LA. However, because our elected officials did not represent the Valley at the time, they lived outside the Valley. However, recently, Measure M was passed, and all of the Valley representatives who actually live in the Valley came together, and the Valley had adequate representation. Let's see. The city of Los Angeles is made up of geographically designated communities. And I fully appreciate that the map I'm looking at has the neighborhood councils as part of this map, because 10 years ago, there were no lines other than the freeways. However, the communities are different than the neighborhood councils. The neighborhood councils in Los Angeles are self-drawn. They're often in dispute, the lines, and there's a reason why there's a Northridge East, West, and South neighborhood council when Northridge is one community. I'll actually show the legally drawn communities that are recognized by the city of LA, and I would ask the commission to ask the LA City Redistricting Commission or the city of LA for those boundaries. I'm sorry, did you have a question?
30 seconds remaining.
Oh, sorry. The Valley is the redheaded stepchild of Los Angeles. Anytime that we are represented by someone south of Mulholland, they do not adequately represent us. We ask that if you have to go north, if you have to go outside the Valley, go north, south, east, or west. We are about 2 million people, and we ask that the community be kept whole.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now will be 021. Up next will be 030. 021, I will be promoting you now. (021). Your speaker order number will be 15. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My name is Jennifer Kumiyama, and I'm a resident of Long Beach.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Again, my name is Jennifer Kumiyama, and I am a resident of this historic Wilmore neighborhood in Long Beach. I'm the incoming chair of the Long Beach's Citizen Advisory Commission on Disability. I've been a staunch advocate for disability equity and intersectionality for over 2 decades. I'm here today to ask that you keep our city together as much as possible. Long Beach is one of the only California cities with a completely independent city redistricting commission passed by voters in 2018. Independent commissions have proven to be efficient, and we hope you will listen to the public and keep us together as much as possible. We are over 70 different and diverse neighborhoods, and we ask that you please do not break us up. As community leaders, we have worked with other neighborhoods and activists to direct hundreds of millions of investments from federal and state sources over these last 10 years. You're hearing a lot from Long Beach because we had to fight 10 years ago to stay as intact as possible. The issue is important to Long Beach neighborhoods. Our coalition includes neighborhood leaders from across the city, and we want to thank you for serving. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have 030. And up next will be 024. And I'd like to invite 010 and 011 to please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the comment queue line. Oh. So right now it'll be 030. I will be promoting you now. Zero 30. Your speaker order number will be 16. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. I will be speaking about Santa Clarita. My name is Bruce Smith. I'm a resident of Santa Clarita. I've lived here for 50 years, not counting the time I spent in the military overseas. And I'd like to make my comments directed at keeping Santa Clarita and as well as the Antelope Valley and Simi Valley together in the same congressional district because of common social and economic ties we have. These communities live in the shadow of the city of Los Angeles and are impacted by things that happen in Los Angeles. And we'd like to be represented and have our voice heard concerning issues that affect us and in our neighborhoods or our communities. And among them are the defense industries that exist in all three of these areas. The huge employers in our areas and decisions made at the federal level do impact the quality of life in our communities. And so I'd like to keep these communities together. And also at the state level, all three of these communities have an interface between rural communities, rural lifestyles, as well as suburban lifestyles. And so representation that takes into consideration the development in these areas, water issues, transportation issues, and environmental protection issues can be best addressed by districts that represent us collectively. And those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now will be 008, and then up next will be 024. I misspoke previously. I apologize. Right now will be 008, and up next will be 024. 008, I will be promoting you now. .008, your speaker order number is 17. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hi, I'm in the area of El Monte.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm resident from El Monte since 2000. Since 2000, I'm volunteering since 2 years ago, and I would like to keep El Monte together with North El Monte and Sur El Monte. We have a lot in common, and a specific needs. It's more parks, more garbage cans, and rent controls, more living spaces because there's a lot of people in the streets, just to keep Almonte together. Like that, I think that's about it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now will be 024, and up next will be 011. Zero 24, I'll be promoting you now. Oh, I did not promote. There, oh, maybe it worked. There appears to be some connectivity issues, 024. I'm not able to promote you at the... Right now, I will be going to 011. I will be promoting you now. 011. Your speaker order number will be 18 if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I would like to discuss the beach cities consisting of Redondo Beach, Santa Monica, Marina del Rey, El Segundo, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, and Palos Verdes. My name is Christina and I'm a resident of Redondo Beach, and I'm calling in to ask that we please keep the beach cities together in the same district. I believe that our coastal community is a very tight-knit community. We have a lot of in common. For my husband and I, we actually frequent Manhattan Beach and Hermosa Beach as often as Redondo Beach. We take our dogs for walks out in the paths, as well as go bicycle riding there. And we would please like to ask you all to keep that district together. And thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Right now we have 018, and up next will be 010. 018, I will be promoting you now. 018, your speaker order number will be 19, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please remind the mapper of what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
I'd like to discuss Long Beach area. Can you hear me okay?
We can, thank you. Go ahead, please.
All right, good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Lamont Nguyen. I'm with the Long Beach Firefighters Association, Local 372. The Long Beach Firefighters Association serves as the voice of over 400 professional firefighters of the Long Beach Fire Department. Our mission is to protect and advance the cause of Long Beach firefighters and to improve the lives and working conditions of the men and women who have made public safety their life's work. I'm calling today to ask you to keep the large majority of the city of Long Beach intact as this commission considers redistricting statewide. 10 years ago, California's Independent Redistricting Commission drew lines that have kept Long Beach mostly together with a large majority of the city in predominant districts at the state and congressional levels. We would like to keep it this way. Keeping our community together ensures we maintain strong representation in the state legislature and Congress to get the resources and support we need to provide services to our businesses and community members. The importance of this cannot be overstated. Most recently, with the global COVID-19 response in emergency mode, Long Beach firefighters jumped into action, helping our own city stand up an emergency response network that ultimately supported a strong COVID-19 test and vaccination program. We were able to work collaboratively with our state and federal partners to get the resources that we needed. And then we deployed them right here at home. The last redistricting lines have benefited the diverse interest of our community in Long Beach, and we ask that Long Beach retains this unity through the upcoming redistricting process. Thank you.
Thank you. And Katie, I think the next caller will be our last prior to our mandatory break.
Yes, Chair. 010. I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number is number 20. If you will please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Members of the Commission, good evening. My name is Felipe Garcia. The areas that I would like to discuss today is Redondo Beach, Santa Monica, Marina del Rey, El Segundo, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Palos Verdes. So I'd like to ask the members of the Commission to please keep together the South Bay coastal community. We all share a very similar lifestyle. We have people that travel to come and see our beaches. We enjoy those same beaches. And it is important to us to keep these areas within our voting power. And we ask you to please keep these areas together. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And Katie, can we squeeze in one more?
I believe we can, Chair. We have exactly 3 minutes. 024. I will be promoting you now. It is not allowing me to promote you, whether it be a connectivity issue. I am going to do allow to talk. Oh, they are gone. Let's see, what time is it? We still have time. So caller 9997. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing *6 on your telephone keypad. Caller 9997, your speaker order number will be 21. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Allison. I am a resident of Rowland Heights, which is just off the 60 and the 57. So thank you so much for all your work and service on this very important issue. Again, I am Allison, and I am a resident of Rowland Heights in the eastern part of Los Angeles County. I'm calling in today to express my support to have the communities of Rowland Heights, Walnut, Diamond Bar, Hacienda Heights, West Covina, and the Phillips Ranch community of Pomona all be in the same federal and state legislative districts. This ethnically diverse area of San Gabriel Valley should remain together. These communities would create a coalition district with 40% of the population identifying as AAPI and 40% identifying as Latino. In addition to demographics, other issues bring us together, such as the transportation corridors of the 60 and 10 freeways and places of employment, such as the Mount San Antonio Community College and Cal Poly Pomona. I respectfully ask the Commission to put these communities together in both state and federal districts. Hacienda Heights and all of West Covina should also be included at the state legislative levels, which is currently not the case. Hacienda Heights has more in common with Walnut, Diamond Bar, and Rowland Heights than they do with the Orange County communities that they are currently drawn together with at the state and federal levels. North Orange County communities such as Yorba Linda, Brea, and Placentia should be drawn into a more Orange County Central District. Thank you for your time and consideration. I hope the Commission can keep together and draw an East San Gabriel Valley-centric community of interest.
Thank you. And thank you, Commissioners, for your attentiveness. Callers that are in the queue, please hang on. We will get you as soon as we return from our mandatory break. For our listening public, we encourage you to call in our next session. When we return from break, We will start with individuals who are registered for an appointment, for appointment time slots, and then open the phone lines if there is time. Commissioner Ahmad will lead us through that process when we return at 5:45 p.m. So we're on break, and thank you.
Welcome back to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission Community of Interest Input meeting. I would just like to remind everyone you can also submit your input online via our Communities of Interest tool. You can draw a map and describe your community by visiting drawmycacommunity.org. I will pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator, to continue with public input. We will start with people who are registered and then open up the phone lines if there is time before the next session. Katie?
Yes, Chair. Right now we will have oh, wait, no, I have things to read. I apologize. Welcome to the public input session. Please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen to enter the queue. When it is your turn to speak, you will be identified by your assigned unique ID number, which you were emailed yesterday. You will be reconnected to the session with the ability to enable your own video and/or audio. You will then be assigned a speaker order number before you begin speaking. Please make a note of your speaker order number for future reference. The Commission will be enforcing a 3-minute time limit. There will be a warning at 30 seconds and 15 seconds remaining. It is the Commission's goal to find the area on the map you would like to discuss prior to your testimony. If you are within a specific area or if you are within a specific neighborhood of Los Angeles, please mention it by name. Once we are able to locate your area, your 3-minute testimony will begin. Attendees will not be able to share their screen. At the end of your public input, or at the end of your time, you will be reconnected in a listen and view only mode. At the beginning of your input, please remind the mapper of what area you would like to see on the screen. Right now we will have 034, and up next will be 020. 034, I will be promoting you now. Zero 034, your speaker order number is number 21, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Okay. I'd like to discuss the San Fernando Valley, which is, it would be west of the 405 and above the 101. You see that? Yeah, west of the 405 and above the 101. Okay. I'm looking to see if I can see it. 405. Yeah, that's correct. That's the area. Okay. Would you like me to begin?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, first of all, for letting me speak to you today. If you ask a San Fernando Valley resident, what city do you live in? Nearly every Valley resident would give a technically inaccurate answer and name their community, which is the Valley or the West Valley, or they would say something like they live in Northridge or Canoga Park, which is one of the sub-neighborhoods, okay? No one would even think to mention Los Angeles as our first offering unless we were speaking to someone who had never been to Southern California or maybe someone from another country, because we really consider ourselves Valley residents. I think that it matters how we think of ourselves because it's a reflection of how we live, work, and play. This is our home, and I'm asking that you don't divide our community and throw pieces of the Valley to this and that neighboring areas, including places like West Los Angeles that fall south of Mulholland Drive border. If that happens, then the Valley loses out and we lose our community. I've lived in the Valley for probably 50 years. I've raised my family here and most of them still live here. Some would say that the Valley is synonymous with suburbia, and historically that's true, but it's also the home of Cal State Northridge, which is a major employer, and 2 or 3 junior colleges also. This is the places where our kids go to college. Northridge also has a civics arts plaza so that we can attend concerts without having to go over the 405 freeway. Most of us really stay in the San Fernando Valley to shop, to eat out, for our entertainment, for our schooling, for just about everything. And it's really a city into itself, really. We really need representatives who prioritize our area, who are very aware of the needs of Cal State Northridge, okay, and then the role that that plays in our community. The Valley is made up of lots of sub-neighborhoods, and I've lived in several of them. I've lived in Chatsworth, Northridge, Canoga Park, even Van Nuys. It would be nice to consider the boundaries of these neighborhoods. Each neighborhood has its own neighborhood council. Most importantly, these neighborhoods should be linked and unified in San Fernando
30
Valley.
seconds.
Okay. That's the way our unique needs will ultimately be met. And I hope that the committee will recognize that it's important that we be able to have the San Fernando Valley continue as an area.
15 seconds.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Right now we will have 020, and up next will be 035. 020, I will be promoting you now. Your speaker order number will be 22. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. You can now enable your audio and video in the lower left corner of your screen. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
I'd like to discuss Long Beach. Hello, my name is Carolyn Ramirez, and I am resident of Long Beach, and I am a Long Beach mother, grandmother, great-grandmother. I have lived in Long Beach for over 40 years, and I currently work in the Long Beach Unified School District in the cafeteria. I want to join my neighbors from across the city and ask that you keep our city together as much as possible. I am grateful to the State Independence Redistricting Commission 10 years ago kept my city mostly together. We are 76 different and diverse neighborhoods, and we have greatly benefited these last 10 years from our city being unified federal and state lines. I always know the names of our elected officials, and it's good knowing that they are representing Long Beach as a whole. Please do not break us up. As a community member, we have worked with other neighborhoods groups to direct hundreds of millions of investments from federal and state sources over these last 10 years. You are hearing a lot from Long Beach because we have to fight 10 years ago to stay intact as possible. This issue is important to Long Beach neighborhoods. I have heard from the diverse group of people across the city are a part of the coalition to keep Long Beach together. I want to thank you for serving and hearing me out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have 035. And up next is 022. 035, I will be promoting you now. .035, your speaker order number will be 20.
Now. Hello.
Hi, I've got one moment. I've got a couple brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 23. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll
Okay.
please let the mapper know what area you'd like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
San Fernando Valley. And my name is Alice McCain. I am past president of the Southland Regional Association of Realtors. I have lived in the San Fernando Valley more than 40 years. I have worked as a realtor here for more than 40 years. Realtors know their neighborhoods. They know the communities. It's our job. So when I say that the San Fernando Valley is a unique community of interest, please understand that's my background. The San Fernando Valley is often juxtaposed against West Los Angeles neighborhoods to the south, and that is south of Mulholland Drive. Valley neighborhoods like mine in Woodland Hills, but also Reseda, Northridge, Granada Hills, should all be connected in entirely Valley districts and not connected with areas outside the Valley like West LA. Again, we have a university, we have two community colleges, we have hotels and a big community. The San Fernando Valley was once the beginning places of where the veterans found their homes after World War II. That's why we were America's suburb. And it is a very diverse community, and we are all one. We are the San Fernando Valley. So now the median prices in the Valley continues to increase, but the Valley needs the ability to elect representatives at the state and federal level who will fight to preserve the opportunity of homeownership. Housing is a big issue everywhere, but there are unique issues here in the Valley, which again is America's suburb. The Valley is not its own city, but maybe it should be, but it's much larger than most of such jurisdictions around the state. Please recognize that when drawing the districts, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite those in the queue with appointments for this session to please use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen. Again, I'd like to invite those in the queue with appointments for this session to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen. Perfect, I do see those hands. Right now it will be 022, and up next we will try 024 again. But right now it will be 022. I will be promoting you now. 022. Your speaker order number will be 24. If you'll please make note of that for future reference, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and I would like to address the City of Long Beach. Yes. Dear Commissioners, thank you for giving me the opportunity to give input on the redistricting process. My name is Chris Steinhauser, and I am the former superintendent of schools for the Long Beach Unified School District. I held this position from 2002 to 2020 and have been a resident of the City of Long Beach for my entire life. The Long Beach Unified School District earned a reputation as one of America's best public school systems, winning many awards as a national and international model of excellence. The Global Education Study by the nonprofit Patel for Kids organizations lists Long Beach Unified among 5 of the world's highest performing school systems. We educate students from Long Beach, Lakewood, Signal Hill, and Avalon. We are grateful 10 years ago, the State Independent Redistricting Commission kept Long Beach mostly together. By being unified in a single congressional, assembly, and state senate districts has enabled our community to unify around important local needs and focus representation on major issues facing our community. In order to meet the diverse needs of our students and their parents, we want to stay as intact as possible. You are hearing from various community groups in Long Beach on the need for us to stay together because we had to fight 10 years ago to keep our city together as much as possible, and it worked. Since that time, we've had huge policy wins that have benefited not only our community, but have become models for the state of California and the nation, like our Long Beach College Promise Program. Federal funding is critical for our students that need free meals. Over 62% of the students in the Long Beach Unified School District participate in the free and reduced lunch program. The free meal program was extremely popular with our families in the spring of 2020 as the joint efforts of a health and economic crisis hit our city. In all, over 900,000 meals were distributed to our students from March through June. Since the large majority of Long Beach is currently kept intact in single state and congressional districts, Long Beach Unified has been empowered to better serve our local communities. Under the current structure, we are able to work together in ways that have truly benefited the most vulnerable students in our city that we would not have been able to do so if our city was divided into multiple state and congressional districts. Please support our work to close achievement and opportunity gaps for our most vulnerable students by keeping our city together as it currently stands. On behalf of our families we serve, do not break Long Beach up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite those with appointments for this time session to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen. 027 and 028. If you would like to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen to join the comment queue. As for 027 and 028, as you have appointments during this time. If you wish to give comment at this time, please use the raise your hand button. At this time, we will go to 024. I will be promoting you now. If you do still have connectivity issues, I will try the audio only option. (024), it appears that you are having connectivity issues with your internet. I'm going to try the audio only option.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Perfect. So
Okay.
your speaker order number will be number 25. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Sure. Good afternoon, sunshines. Thank you for having me. Could you go to the map and pull up the area of Lancaster that's kind of split up? Lancaster of the Antelope Valley that seems to be split by I think the 23rd and 25th. So while you're pulling that up, it would be nice if people would refrain from using race, ethnicity, or color when they're speaking points, you know, for organizations that they might belong to. So if you, for some reason, parts of Lancaster are split up and go into the 23rd, but I can't even talk to my neighbors about the same amenities that we could share, such as, police, fire, school, water, trash, but most important for voting. And so, I mean, literally, like right across the street, you could have somebody in the 23rd district, and then across the street from that could be the 25th district. So I'd like them to keep all of the whole Antelope Valley, the whole of Lancaster in the Antelope Valley, in that district. I don't understand why they're split up actually the way it's split up. As you can see, they're kind of goofy. And so if I'm looking at it correctly, would that even include parts of Quartz Hill? Am I seeing that correct? I'm not sure, but anyway, I just do know that in Lancaster we have a split, and yeah, maybe if we go closer. It needs to stay in the Antelope Valley, in the 25th district, and keep us all together so that us neighbors can talk to each other and they're not split up. And okay, so And I don't mind, I love having Santa Clarita and Simi Valley in my district. There, we use it for work a lot. So keeping all, the whole Antelope Valley, Simi Valley, and Santa Clarita Valley is very, we use it for work, and we use the same freeways and that kind of thing. So keep that all together as well. Okay, I think that might be all I have, unless you have questions.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 027, and up next will be 028. 027, I will be promoting you now. Zero 27. Your speaker order number will be 26, if you will please make note of that for future reference. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, panel. My name is Mark Cipher, and I would like to discuss the 25th District, which includes Santa Clarita, Palmdale, Lancaster, similar to the previous caller. And I would agree with her about keeping it intact. But again, my name is Mark Cipher. I am a 25-year resident of the Santa Clarita Valley. We're unique because we're north of the 514 split. So we're our own little separate little area there. Of course, Simi Valley is included in that, and Lancaster, but it's obviously north of that area. But amazing community. A lot of firefighters, police, first responders live in this area. Great families, great churches, great youth programs, sports, great hospital, Henry Mayo Hospital. We're actually kind of our little self-contained little area. Also very good for business. There's a huge industrial centers here that cater to many different types of businesses, military, obviously aviation, Palmdale, Lancaster, obviously with Northrop, but a lot of manufacturing. So a lot of people live up here, a lot of jobs and support. So I please respectfully request that you keep the 25th District intact. The only caveat to that would be if we were to expand it, like the previous caller said, maybe incorporate all of Lancaster, but possibly like Piru or Fillmore. That's just a thought. That's your guys' job, but love the community, very, very diverse, and please keep it intact. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have 028. It looks like it's all of our appointments in the queue at this time. So then we'll be going to callers. So right now will be 028, and up next will be caller last four 7693. So right now 028, I will be promoting you. To 8 appears there is some connectivity issues. I'm going to go ahead and do the audio only option. 028, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 27, if you'll please make note of that. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hello, I'd like to discuss the Antelope Valley. My name is Michelle Starkey.
Caller, before you begin, would you please be able to define Antelope Valley by their boundaries? So
Yes.
east, west, south.
Lancaster and Courts Hill. And it's the same, the last two callers. I would like to keep 25th as a whole and add Courts Hill, the rest of Courts Hill. Yes.
Great, thank you. You may begin.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Michelle Starkey. I'm calling, and thank you for this opportunity for the redistricting. I'm calling to leave the 25th sort of as it is, but to add Courts Hill, because we are one street away from a completely different district. And there's different voting, and we would like to keep it as a whole. That part just feels left out. And when you talk to our community, people feel left out. So if we can just keep it as a whole, or put Courts Hill, the rest of Courts Hill into it, I'd appreciate that. And that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we will have caller with the last four, 7693. And then up next will be caller with the last four, 1885. Caller 7693, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 7693, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 28, if you will please make note of that for future reference. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Yes, my name is Chris Rowe. I'm a 43-year resident of West Hills, the far west San Fernando Valley. I want to support most of what the other callers who've spoken about the San Fernando Valley have said today. I'm trying to look at your map, but it hasn't loaded yet completely. The boundaries of the West San Fernando Valley are the Simi Hills to the west. I would like to look at the Mulholland Highway, as mentioned earlier, to the south, the Santa Susana Mountains, the peak to the north of the valley, and the San Gabriels to the east. And this would be considered the rim of the valley under the National Park System. I want to look at the geological boundaries. I want to look and reference, by the way, something that hasn't been mentioned too much, and that is the historic nature of this valley in concern with its Chumash to Tavian Fernandino history. And the reason that that's so important is that the mountains that are just 5 miles west of me, if you go into the hills, if you go to the boundary, the very west boundary with your cursor, and you see West Hills up there, you'll see Bell Canyon as well. Bell Canyon should be considered part of the San Fernando Valley because it's completely landlocked, even though it's Ventura County. I would like it included into one large San Fernando Valley district, which again, it was mentioned earlier, will probably be 2 million people. And therefore, I'd like to see 2 state Senate districts completely inside that San Fernando Valley boundary, going from west to east with the boundaries that I mentioned, so that we are contiguous, compact communities of interest. Another thing is right above where you're showing Bell Canyon, right above there in the white, is the Santa Susana Field Laboratory. That area impacts my community. It's a historic rocket engine and nuclear testing site. And the cleanup of that site, all the truck traffic comes down through my community of West Hills and goes out through the communities of Chatsworth, Canoga Park, and possibly Woodland Hills. So my general community of interest is, yes, that Western San Fernando Valley, but for the purposes of redistricting, again, at the state Senate level, I would like to see a district that starts at the west, on the west side, and goes north and south between those boundaries, and then another state Senate district to the east. And then I would like the assembly districts to, again, start at the western boundary and a similar nature. And by the way, the Santa Susana Field Laboratory that I pointed out to the upper left of where you are in white, that is divided between 2 congressional districts. It really should be.
Right now we have caller 1885. Up next will be caller 1620. Caller 1885, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 1885, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions. Your speaker order number will be 29, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to give my input. My name is Sharon Lynn Stein, and I am a professional in the entertainment industry. And the area that I would like to discuss today are the cities of Santa Clarita and Simi Valley.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. Entertainment is one of the region's top industries, and it is important to have legislatures focus on keeping this business in the state and, of course, in their districts. The Simi and Santa Clarita Valleys lie in what is known as the 30-mile zone, an estimated 30-mile radius from the intersection of Western and Beverly Boulevards and North La Cienega Boulevard. The studio zone is a 30-mile radius used by union film projects to determine per diem rates and driving distances for crew members. So more filming is done inside that 30-mile radius, partly because of both Santa Clarita and Simi Valley have economics that depend on the entertainment industry. They have economies that depend on the entertainment industry. Santa Clarita has more than 20 sound stages and a dozen movie ranches, including proposed Disney ABC studios at the Ranch Project. Santa Clarita entertainment-orientated businesses include Blue Cloud Movie Ranch, Disney/ABC Studios at the Ranch, Melody Ranch, Sable Movie Ranch, Santa Clarita Studios, and Motion Picture Ranch, VELUZAT, and more. Simi Valley also offers a multitude of movie ranches and standing sets, including business district backlots, office building interiors, which I have worked in, western caverns, and post-production facilities. The city of Simi Valley features 6 sound stages totaling over 67,000 square feet, as well as in over 20,000 square feet of workshop and production support areas. Television shows and films that were shot in Simi Valley include The Big Lebowski, Captain America, The First Avenger, Poltergeist, Men in Black, NCIS, and more. Thus, it is essential to the economies of Santa Clarita and Simi Valley that they are in a district together. And again, thank you for allowing me to put my input in today.
Thank you so much. I'd like to invite unique ID number 036 to use the raise your hand button at the bottom of your screen as you have an appointment during this session. As unique ID 036, I do see your hand. We will be going to the appointment at this time, and up next will be caller 1620. So right now will be 036. I will be promoting you now. (036), your speaker order number.
Oh, thank you very much. So is this 036's turn?
It is. Your speaker order number will be number 30, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Okay, 30. Okay, I think I figured this out a little bit late. Thanks, everybody. My name is John Deutsch. While I serve as the president of the Los Feliz Neighborhood Council, which is the part of Los Angeles I'd like to talk about, I'm speaking today in my capacity as an individual citizen. I'm sure that you have heard by now and have heard all sorts of arguments for considering the neighborhood council boundaries in your deliberations. One thing I wanted to add is that the last 18 months or so has seen an extraordinary amount of activity from volunteer groups like neighborhood councils and other community organizations, particularly when it comes to COVID responses. And a very good way to understand the cohesiveness of a community in this part of Southern California, where we have a lot of lines, is often to look at how these groups work together. For instance, here in Los Feliz, while we are near the borders of other cities, we work very closely with our colleagues in the Hollywood Hills and in Atwater Village and in East Hollywood and Silver Lake, and that whole area there that's now being described by the Han. And I encourage you in the process of your research and deliberations to look over the last year and a half and see which groups have come together, because it's a really good way to get a sense of our individual communities, who in our communities sort of work together and speak together. These are some very diverse neighborhoods, and sometimes these groups can be real bridges between different communities in and of themselves. So I know there are a lot of things for you to consider in your deliberations going forward, but I would certainly encourage you to look, especially in the last 18 months, when folks really had to sort of be creative, and when I think we were all challenged to reconsider our ideas of community and community responsibility. Could be a great way to understand just where the landscape of Southern California is. I appreciate the 3 minutes, but you've got a lot of folks to hear from, so thank you very much, and thank you for your service. This is an incredibly vital job, and I'm happy to live in a state where this decision is being made by citizens just like me, and not some other powerful organization elsewhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Right now, we have caller 1620. And then up next will be caller with the last four 7899. And I'd like to invite those other callers in the queue to please press *9 on their telephone keypad to raise their hand. Please press *9. This will raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. I see those hands. All right, right now will be caller 1620. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 1620, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 31. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours. Can you hear me? Caller with the last four 1620.
Hello?
Hello, the floor is yours.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
All right. Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Cindy Allen, and I am the 2nd District Councilwoman for the City of Long Beach. I represent downtown Long Beach, and which is mostly a densely populated area of the city and home of the city's strongest economic drivers, commercial business corridors, and the Port of Long Beach. Our downtown core was hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, and representation is critical to Long Beach lasting economic recovery. And keeping our community together will ensure we maintain strong representation in the state legislature and Congress to get the resources and support we need to provide services to our businesses and community leaders. I am joining today the Keep Long Beach Together Coalition to advocate for keeping our city together. The coalition includes Long Beach Economic Partnership, Central CHA, NAACP, Equity for Cambodians, the May Center, the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce, Latinos in Action, Cambodia Town, the Long Beach Nonprofit Partnership, the Bixby Knolls Business Improvement District, Downtown Business Alliance, the Long Beach Convention Center and Visitors Bureau, the Long Beach Hospitality Alliance, the Fur District, Long Beach Playhouse, the California Apartment Association, Long Beach Opera, the Long Beach Museum of Latin Art, International City Theater, Long Beach Camerata Singers, Musica Angelica, Long Beach Museum of Art, and Arts Council for Long Beach. So it's a lot of organizations that are really concerned about this. Many of these same organizations fought 10 years ago and also asked the state independent redistricting commission to also keep Long Beach together, and it worked. We are grateful for the efforts a decade ago through California's Independent Redistricting Commission to establish district lines that have kept Long Beach mostly together, with majority of the city and prominent districts at the state and congressional level. The last redistricting lines have benefited the diverse interests of our community in Long Beach, and we ask that Long Beach retains this unity through the upcoming redistricting process. Earlier this year, the City of Long Beach unanimously adopted our 2021 state legislative agenda. And our priority is to support redistricting lines that preserve the geographic and demographic integrity of the city and keep Long Beach together. Keeping our community together is essential for Long Beach. And we want to make sure that redistricting does not further divide Long Beach into smaller districts. Just thank you so much for your service, and I appreciate the time to speak with you today.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller with the last four 7899, and then up next will be caller 1520. Caller 7899, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 7899, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 32. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
So, hello and good evening, commissioners. My name is Giovanni Kristen Pope, and I live in the Antelope Valley area, specifically West Lancaster, in the area by Antelope Valley College. And that is the area that I am calling to talk about today in regards to congressional redistricting. So I do a lot of social equity work in the Antelope Valley, and one of the things that I have come to understand is that it is really important that when communities are together, that the resources that communities have also be located together and near each other. Now, unfortunately, when you have two congressional districts going through about the same street, that creates a division because unfortunately, members of that community are not able to all get the same resources. So for example, on K Street and on K4 Street, two streets that are adjacent to each other have different congressional districts. So that means that the areas that are located westward of the city of Lancaster are not getting the same representation as the communities in East Lancaster and so forth and so on. That continues along also the north and south corridor. The reason that this is so important to me and so important to the members of my local community is because there should not be two congressional districts that are located one street apart from each other, even though they are both located within the same city. That is not a condition that's conducive to equity. And I hope that as the population increases and as we delve further into the issues of redistricting, I hope that the commissioners will come to the conclusion that all of the 25th congressional district should be one district, and then the communities of Fresno and Bakersfield should stay specifically in the 23rd congressional district. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak this evening, and thank you for all of the work that you're doing.
Thank you, caller, for your input thus far. Would you please be able to describe the boundaries of what you consider the Antelope Valley?
One moment, Chair. You are unmuted.
Could you just repeat the last 5 seconds of what you said? So sorry.
Yes, certainly. Would you please be able to describe the boundaries of what you consider the Antelope Valley?
Yes, of course. So when we think about the Antelope Valley, most areas that come to mind are, for example, Lancaster and Palmdale, which are located in two separate congressional districts, Quartz Hill, Antelope Acres, Leona Valley, Acton, Little Rock, and Lake Elizabeth.
Great, thank you so much.
No problem.
Right now, we will have a caller with the last 41520. And then up next will be caller 7839. Caller 1520, if you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 1520, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 33, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for your work and service on this very important issue. My name is Sanober Beg, and I'm a resident of Diamond Bar. My assembly district is 55 and Senate District 29 and Congressional 39. It covers currently, besides LA County, northern part of cities of Orange County and one city in San Bernardino County. So I am calling today to express my support to consider it to be redistricted to have the communities of Walnut, Diamond Bar, Rowland Heights, Hacienda Heights, West Covina, and the Phillips Ranch community of Pomona to be in the same congressional and state legislative districts. These communities are diverse and should remain together. The demographics of these cities are a major Hispanic and Asian when combined, which is an appropriate reflection of our area. I'd also like to point out that the northern part of my city of Diamond Bar is also part of Pomona Unified School District. This includes sharing schools with the Phillips Ranch community of Pomona. Phillips Ranch has many similarities with Diamond Bar. Both areas are made up of mostly single-family homes sharing similar demographics and are connected by the 60 freeway. Diamond Bar and other San Gabriel Valley cities should be in the same districts as Phillips Ranch and should include Cal Poly Pomona as well. So my request is that you please do consider this as a redistricting time is here, because we are sort of disconnected with the addition of the northern Orange County cities when it comes for legislative elections and attending all those. So the request is that if you might consider, that would be much helpful to us. And thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have caller with the last 47839. And then up next will be caller 6570. Caller 7839, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 7839, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 34. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Yes, I would like to discuss Simi Valley. My name is Daphne Bolsma, and I have lived in Simi Valley for 30 years. About 10 years ago, when the redistricting took place, they divided Simi Valley and they excluded Moore Park. And I would like to suggest that all of Simi Valley and Moore Park be included in District 25. Simi Valley and Moore Park are similar in demographics. They have similar organizations that are joint. Simi Valley and Moore Park are educated middle class. Both cities are prone to fires, and we share resources, including the fire department, the sheriff's department, and the police departments. We are a very diverse community, and the natural progression of expanding based on the numbers would be to include the rest of Simi Valley and incorporate Moore Park into the 25th Congressional District. I thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to speak, and thank you for your efforts in meeting the needs of all these communities that are calling, people that are calling in. I thank you for your service and have a fantastic evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Caller Up next will be caller 6570. And then up next will be caller 2083. Right now it will be caller 6570. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 6570, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 35. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'd like to speak about Long Beach, California. And good evening, commissioners. My name is Sarah Bauman, and I'm speaking on behalf of Long Beach Transit and our president and CEO, Kenneth McDonald. LBT is here in support of the city of Long Beach's position to maintain its current district lines. LBT maintains a very strong relationship with its elected federal and state representatives and efforts to provide essential transit services to its customers in the Long Beach service area. Additionally, LBT contributes to the well-being of the community by meeting climate goals, using clean air technology, and supporting job creation. LBT is actively working towards creating a zero-emission transportation future. The agency is only purchasing zero-emission buses to meet the goal of having a 100% zero-emission fleet by 2030. LBT relies heavily on our federal and state representatives to ensure funding is available to support this significant initiative. Without proper state and federal funding over the next decade, LBT may not be able to meet our zero-emission goals while expanding ridership and delivering essential transit service. Thousands of residents in Long Beach rely on LBT for service that is accessible to all, safe, clean, and reliable. LBT wants to continue to provide this exceptional level of service to support the city's mobility needs. To that end, LBT looks forward to continuing the strong relationship we have with our representatives and supports the city of Long Beach's efforts to maintain the current district lines and keep Long Beach together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller with the last four 2083, and up next will be caller with the last four 3299. Caller 2083, if you'll please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 2083, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 36. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hola, me llamo Betty Batista, soy un miembro de Chirla y yo vivo en la comunidad del Valle del Antílope desde hace 4 años. Hoy voy a hablar por mi comunidad de inmigrantes del Antílope Valle.
Pardon, caller.
Margarita.
Un momento,
señora, ¿nos permite un momento? Señora, disculpe, ¿nos permite un momento?
Sí, está bien.
Okay. Would you like me to go ahead and do the site translation of the instructions, or are you?
If you could just translate her input, please.
Okay. Señora, ¿puede comenzar de nuevo, por favor?
Ok, gracias. Hola, me llamo Betty Batista, soy un miembro de Chirla. Yo vivo en la comunidad del Valle del Antílope desde hace 4 años. Hoy voy a hablar por mi comunidad de inmigrantes del Antílope Valle. La gente que vive en mi comunidad es gente latina hispanohablante que vivimos bajo la línea de pobreza. Mi comunidad es trabajadora. Ellos se ganan la vida limpiando casas, en construcción, jardinería, de niñeras.
¿Me permite un momento? ¿Me permite un momento para interpretar, señora? Y después puede seguir.
Okay.
The interpreter asked the speaker to pause to be able to interpret, and then she may continue. Hello, my name is Betty Bautista and I'm part of Chirla. I live in the Antelope Valley. I've been living there for about 4 years and I'm here to talk about my immigrant community. We are a community of Latinos who speak Spanish and we are hardworking community members. We work in homes and doing housekeeping, we do gardening, we do construction work. We are very hardworking people. And the interpreter will ask the speaker to continue. Siga, por favor.
La mayoría de trabajadores viajan a Santa Clarita y a Los Ángeles para ir a factorías. La mayoría de los migrantes en el Antílope Valle rentamos apartamentos y casas móviles. Algunas pocas personas tienen la capacidad de comprar casa, pero solamente ganan lo suficiente para pagar la cuota mensual. Las celebraciones locales son en verano en la ciudad de Sol, en Pandio, que se llaman La Noche en el Cuadro. En ese evento traen bandas, tocan música en vivo y venden comida de restaurantes locales. En
Momento,
Navidad
por
hay
favor. Señora, un momento. Señora, ¿me permite un momento, por favor? So the majority of the immigrant workers travel to work in the Santa Clarita area in Los Angeles to be able to work in factories. And the immigrant population mostly rents apartments or some mobile homes. And those who are able to afford to live in a house are barely able to make the payments for their house. So the monthly payment is really expensive and most immigrant families are low income. These celebrations that are offered in the Palmdale area include summertime night event where there's a band that comes, there's food, there's a celebration that occurs, and the interpreter will ask the speaker to continue. Por favor, siga un par de frases.
Mi comunidad está ubicada entre las calles principales que son la Pando Boulevard, Pearl Blossom, Sierra Highway, que conectan a todo el Antílope Valle. Sierra Highway te lleva de Lancaster a Pandio y viceversa. La Pearl Blossom te lleva de Acton, pasa por Pandio hasta llegar a Little Rock, conectándote
momento,
con el
señora.
freeway.
¿Me permite un momento, por favor?
Está bien.
Dijo que las calles que cruzan por donde vive es la Palmdale Boulevard y la cual?
La Pearl Blossom, la Sierra Highway.
Terracen, dijo?
Pearl Blossom, Sierra Highway.
Pearl Blossom, okay. So the cross streets where I live close to are the Palmdale Boulevard, Pearl Harbor. The interpreter had difficulty understanding one of the names of the streets, Pearl Blossom and Sierra Highway. And there is a way to be able to commute between Lancaster using the highway as well, Lancaster and Palmdale. And disculpe, ¿y el camino que dijo que usan para ir a Lancaster en la autopista?
Nuestro freeway principal es el 14 que te lleva de Lancaster hasta Santa Clarita, se conecta al 5 para Los Ángeles o norte de California.
Okay.
Es importante.
And the highway or freeway that connects us is the 14 freeway, which goes from Lancaster to Santa Clarita to the 5 freeway for Los Angeles, or also going up north. Adelante, señora.
Es importante que la comisión una a mi comunidad del Antílope Valle. Por la última década ha sido separada con partes de Lancaster en un distrito y otra parte de Lancaster en otro distrito congresional para que juntos tengamos el poder político.
The interpreter will ask the speaker to repeat the last part because there's an echo. Señora, ¿puede repetir la última parte? Parece que hay un eco. Estaba diciendo.
Está separado una parte de Lancaster, del Antílope Valle está separada una parte y la otra parte está en otro distrito. Entonces queremos que las junten, que las unan a Pandio.
Okay,
15
so
segundos.
it's really important for the commission to take into consideration the separation that currently exists in the Antelope Valley. Lancaster, part of Lancaster is in one district and the other part belongs to another district. And what we would like is for Lancaster to be together, to be kept together.
Thank you, caller. Before you leave, I do have two questions, if I can have those relayed. Just wanted to confirm that one of the other streets that was mentioned was Pear Blossom.
Tengo dos preguntas para usted antes de que se retire. Solo quería asegurar con usted que una de las calles que usted había mencionado, una de las dos, es la Pear Blossom.
Pear Blossom. Pear Blossom.
Pear Blossom
and
Sierra Highway.
Great, thank you. And then the other question I had was, if you can ask the caller, would you be able to please describe what is the Antelope Valley? What are the boundaries on the north, west, east, and south?
Entonces, quisiera pedirle a usted, a la llamante, que si puede describir qué considera usted como el Valle del Antílope, son las líneas geográficas del noroeste, noreste, del sur y del sureste.
Pues que está todo muy dividido, ¿verdad? Y que queremos, pues, que esté más unido todo para tener más acceso a la educación, a la medicina, a los derechos civiles, derechos laborales, infraestructuras, transporte.
Well, it's very split up, it's very divided, and we would like for it to be united so that we can have better access to education, medicine, civil rights, labor rights, and to be able to have that unity.
Just one more time, if I can ask, if the caller, can you please name any of the cities that you consider within the Antelope Valley?
Una vez más, si usted puede nombrar cuáles son las ciudades que usted considera que están dentro del Valle del Antílope.
Está Little Rock, está Roseman, está Lancaster, Santa Clarita, Acton, pues son todas las que más o menos más cerca.
Well, there's Little Rock, Rosemont, Lancaster, Santa Clarita, and Acton. Well, and those are the ones that are more or less closest.
Gracias, thank you.
Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have a caller with the last four 3299, and then up next will be caller 3497. Caller 3299, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 3299, I have a couple of brief instructions for you. You are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be 37. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area would... Hello?
Ay, yo hablo español.
Oh, yes, I speak Spanish.
Un momento, por favor.
Gracias.
Margarita? Your speaker order number will be number 37, and if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the interpreter will interpret.
El orden de hablar, disculpe, es el número 37. Si usted, por favor, puede tomar nota de ese número para el futuro, y si le puede indicar al cartógrafo, a la persona encargada del mapa, de cuál área quiere hablar usted.
O de Antelope Valley.
Regarding the Antelope Valley. The interpreter is going to instruct the caller to please speak in short phrases. Señora, cuando hable, si puede hablar en frases cortas, le voy a interpretar y luego puede seguir.
Bueno, gracias.
Adelante. Gracias.
Bueno. Hola, me llamo Nora Díaz y soy una inmigrante de Chirla. Yo vivo en la comunidad de Antelope Valley desde el 2006. Hoy voy a hablar como una inmigrante con 3 hijos inmigrantes con DACA.
Hello, my name is Nora Diaz, and I'm an immigrant. I'm part of Chidla, and I've been living in the Antelope Valley since 2006. And I'm speaking as an immigrant person with 3 immigrant children who have DACA.
Hay 2 librerías, una grande en Lancaster sobre la Lancaster Boulevard y otra pequeña en Pandel por City Hall. Los servicios de cuidado de niños son por medio de escuelas públicas o daycare privados.
There are 2 libraries, a big one that, disculpe, ¿dónde está la grande? Dijo, ¿en qué calle?
En Lancaster Boulevard.
There are 2 libraries, a big one which is located on Lancaster Boulevard, and then there's also a smaller one that is by the City Hall. And there are services that are provided by the schools as well as child care center for children. Adelante.
Los parques en mi comunidad están bien cuidados, pero no han sido remodelados en muchos años por falta de recursos. Los parques Macadam sobre la 30 Street IR y el parque de correr Pelona se benefician de tener más actividades para los jóvenes y familiares.
So the parks are well taken care of. However, they have not been remodeled in many years because of lack of resources. There's the park that is on 30 East Street, and also the park that is located, the interpreter is going to ask for a repetition. Disculpe, el último parque que mencionó, dijo que está ubicado ¿en dónde?
Está ubicado en la 30 Street IR.
Oh, on 30th, it's located on 30th Street and R. And the children would benefit by having more activities available to them at the parks. ¿Siga?
Para servicios de salud para la comunidad inmigrante solo hay una clínica, pero no es para emergencia. En las clínicas Wealthy Health Center solo dan el programa de salud que hacen el físico.
And the health services that are available for immigrants are only at one clinic, which does not provide emergency services. And the one that provides it is the Well Healthy Clinic, which, disculpe, la Well Healthy Clinic, ¿qué dijo?
Wealthy Health Center.
Oh, Wealthy Healthy Center?
Yeah.
Ajá. Siga.
Para servicios como mamografía, se refieren a clínicas privadas llamadas Lancaster Image Center. Solo se califica con cheques de menos de 800 a la quincena. Para cualquier servicio de emergencia necesita ir hasta Simi Valley, Olivio.
So that Wealthy Healthy Center only provides general or regular medical services. In order to receive other services, other health services such as mammograms, we would have to go to the Lancaster Imaging Center, which you need to earn $800 or less than $800 every 2 weeks in order to be able to qualify for services. And if you want to receive emergency services, then you have to go to the Olive View Medical Center in Simi. In Simi Valley, dijo?
Simi Valley, sí,
In Simi Valley, Olive View.
No, perdón, Silmar Olive View.
I'm sorry, Silmar Avenue.
Yeah. Durante el tiempo que he vivido en mi comunidad, he tenido que aprender a sobrevivir usando el transporte público llamado ABT, pero usar el bus significa planear y caminar mucho para llegar a la parada de buses.
And since I've been living in my community, I've had to be able to survive by using public transportation, the one that is called ABC. But in order to use that bus, you need to be able to plan to be able to walk there and be able to take that bus and have that service available.
Las rutas más usadas son la ruta 1 que te lleva del centro de transportación en Lancaster hasta la 60 Street en Pandel, pero si quiere ir a
30
Little Rock,
segundos.
30
en
segundos.
Little Rock, que es una área más rural, hasta Lancaster para ir al Community College es muy difícil teniendo que tomar 2 o más buses
15 segundos.
Yes. So the route that is mostly used is Route 1, which is from the center of Lancaster to go to Palmdale. But in order to go to more rural areas or to be able to go to the community college, you need to take 2 buses or more to be able to get there.
Es incluso más difícil para los jóvenes que tienen que ir a Northridge para la universidad. Solo tienen un bus que sale del centro de transportación en Pandel que solo pasa 3 veces al día.
And it's even more difficult for the young people who go to Northridge College because there's only one bus that takes you there, and it only comes by 3 times a day to be able to go to Northridge.
Excuse me, please. The caller is at time, but there are some additional questions from the chair, please.
Disculpe, ya se le terminó el tiempo, pero la presidente tiene unas preguntas para usted.
Claro.
Of course.
Thank you for your input so far, caller. Would you please be able to describe the Antelope Valley either by boundaries or naming cities that are within the Antelope Valley?
Gracias por sus aportaciones. ¿Podría usted describir cuál es el Valle del Antílope, ya sea al describir los límites geográficos o al describir o nombrar las ciudades que se encuentran dentro de ahí?
Está Lancaster, Little Rock, Roma, las ciudades que están más cerca de acá, Acton, Santa Clarita.
Okay. Dijo, señora, disculpe, dijo Little Rock, Roseman, Acton, Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita, Acton.
It's Little Rock, Rosemont, Santa Clarita, Acton.
Sí.
Yes.
Great, thank you so much.
Muy bien, muchísimas gracias.
Thank you so much. Right now, we will have a caller with the last 4, 3497. And then up next will be caller with the last 4, 0565. Caller 3497, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 3497, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 38, if you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Scott Sutherland. We live in Lancaster, California. I'm calling to discuss the 25th Congressional District as opposed to the 23rd Congressional District. The Antelope Valley has been divided for quite some time. Part of the Antelope Valley is in the 23rd District, which includes Bakersfield and Fresno. And part of the Antelope Valley is in the 25th District, which includes Santa Clarita, Simi Valley. And so I'm calling to advocate that the 25th District be the main place for the Antelope Valley. It seems that the committee needs to know what the Antelope Valley is. That's a very difficult question to answer because it depends on whether you're talking about school districts, economics, whether you're talking about geography, whether you're talking about transportation. So in each of those different areas, the Antelope Valley can be defined differently, and agriculture is another one. So for instance, aerospace is a huge industry up here in the Antelope Valley. If you were to describe aerospace as the Antelope Valley, you would start with Tehachapi in the north, go to Mojave, Edwards Air Force Base, down to Rosamond, Lancaster, Palmdale, Little Rock, Lake Los Angeles, Leona Valley, and that would be about it. If you're talking about transportation and commuting, then it's you would start with Tehachapi, you would go down through Mojave, Rosamond, Lancaster, Palmdale, Little Rock, Lake Los Angeles, Leona Valley, Acton, Simi Valley, Santa Clarita, and I'm sorry, not Santa Clarita, and even as far down as Sylmar. If you're talking about school districts, we have a very interesting situation in the Lancaster, Palmdale area. We have 7 school districts. The high school district is separate. It goes to Gorman. It goes all the way out to Lake Los Angeles and all the way down to Palmdale and Lancaster. But then we have separate districts for Acton and Leona Valley. We have elementary K-12 districts. All of these are divided into 2 different congressional districts. If you're talking about transportation, then you're talking about the 14 corridor that goes all the way from the 58 up by Mojave down to
30 seconds.
Santa Clarita. So basically what we're talking about is a divided community that's been divided along just about every single kind of factor you can have, whether it be law enforcement, whether it be
15 seconds.
Any other thing. And so what we need is the whole Antelope Valley, Simi Valley, Moore Park, Santa Clarita, Rosamond, Mojave, Tehachapi, all the way out to Lake Los Angeles, all the way over to Leona Valley to be.
Caller, if you're still there, I do have a clarifying question.
One moment, Chair.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, thank you so much for your input thus far. And you are correct. We are looking for an understanding of what is the Antelope Valley. So would you please be able to describe what you would like to keep together?
Okay, so I would like to draw the boundary as widely as possible because the most common interest would be included. And that would go up to Tehachapi in the north, through Mojave, through Rosamond, which are all in Kern County, but still aerospace complex, Palmdale and Lancaster, which are divided right now to 2 districts. These cities have 250, 300,000 people, and they're divided. And then you have Little Rock, Lake Los Angeles going out towards Victorville. You have Antelope Acres, which is a separate community. You have Nenach on the way to Gorman. You have Gorman, which is a part of this same complex of canyons and transportation corridors. Then you go down to Acton, down to Santa Clarita, Simi Valley. It wouldn't bother me at all if Moore Park is a part of this because it's also part of the same economic structure for bedroom communities, for fire dangers, for law enforcement. There's a number of different areas in which having this representation in this area should be in a single place. Right now we're divided and the representation is not even. Just from my point of view, the agricultural representation that's typical for the Central Valley, where the 23rd district is, has no relationship at all to the 25th district, where we have bedroom community, aerospace, transportation, education issues in common.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller 0565, and then up next we will have caller 7960. Caller 0565, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 0565, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 39. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours.
I would like to discuss Simi Valley.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Jones, and I am a resident of Simi Valley. And I am hoping that we can keep keep Simi Valley whole, and we can also include Moore Park. I would like to reiterate, because I've called a couple of times, that I think we should be kept in the 25th Congressional District. In regards to, first, Simi Valley and Moore Park, along with Santa Clarita, they're prone to wildfires. So we do share some resources in regards to that. Another aspect in regards to specifically Simi Valley and Santa Clarita, we have a lot of people who are employed by JPL, and they are regards to working on a lot of projects with NASA. There's a lot of carpooling that happens. Also, for the synergy with Santa Clarita, Simi Valley and Moore Park, we consider Moore Park our sister. We have organizations. We think that our needs with Simi Valley and Moore Park are best suited with the 25th Congressional District, such as Lancaster, Palmdale, Santa Clarita, and Porter Ranch. Simi Valley and Moore Park has become a lot more diverse over the years, and we have seen an increase in minorities, and therefore we are hoping that we are kept in the 25th in order to continue to have those minorities served on the federal level in their best interest. And then I would also like to touch briefly on the 38th Assembly in regards to Simi Valley and Santa Clarita. As I stated before, we have a synergy with Santa Clarita. Both cities are prone to wildfires. Both cities have a lot of individuals that are employed by JPL. And we also have a little bit of aerospace in Simi Valley, but it is predominantly over in Santa Clarita. And I just wanted to thank all of you for your hard work. And also thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me speak. And you have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Right now we have caller with the last four, 7960. I'd like to ask caller with the last four, 7693. If you wish to give comment this evening, would you please press star 9 on your telephone keypad. This will raise your hand. But right now, caller 7960 does have their hand raised. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing star 6. Caller 7960, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions. Your speaker order number will be 40, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I would like to speak on the area of South Central LA.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carlos. I was raised in South Central LA, which is south of downtown LA, west of West LA. It's an area that is part of 3 districts, City 8, City 9, and City 10. It's a predominantly Black and brown community. It has been for many, many decades. We've gone through several civil unrests, years of redlining, disinvestment, and a lot of policy conflict with that have been really negatively impacted our community. We have a huge part of Latino immigrant community, and we've created a really well diverse and strong specific Black and Brown communities that we've been able to create spaces that have created a specific culture, like South LA Cafe and other places that have created a sense of pride in our community. Our area currently is from the 10 freeway all the way to past the 105 by Imperial, from Alameda all the way to Windsor Hills, Crenshaw. And as we've known, 10 years ago, parts of USC, which were, beyond the 10 freeway, were taken away, and other areas that were assets for our predominantly Black community. We've seen how redistricting and other practices have constantly exacerbated poverty and policies that keep disempowering our community. So as we become stronger and have created political support, we are asking to please be aware that as displacement, homelessness, and gentrification continues to occur, it's very important that we stay together and that we continue to work through the ongoing attack from our community, and to make sure that we do have the right representation in this space. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share. We know that there's been ongoing shifts on the edges of South LA, and we just want to make sure that our community stays protected and supported, and not to lose any more territory because of the representation that we need. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, caller with the last four, 7693. If you wish to give comment this evening, please press *9 on your telephone keypad. And we do have a raised hand, caller 7693. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing *6. Caller 7693, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be 41, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Can you hear me?
Yes, I said I already spoke today. Thank you for your time.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And that is all of our callers at this time, Chair.
Thank you, Katie. I just wanted to take a moment to remind everyone that there are numerous ways to provide public input to the Commission. This setting is one of those ways, our Community of Interest public input meetings. They are continuing to take place virtually throughout the summer. You can visit wedrawthelinesca.org for more information about our meeting schedule. You can also utilize the Communities of Interest mapping tool, and that can be found directly from our website or drawmycacommunity.org. On our website, we also have a direct link to our Community of Interest tool, along with additional ways to participate. You can do so by sending us an email at votersfirstact@crc.ca.gov, or you can send us mail to the headquarters at California Citizens Redistricting Commission, 721 Capitol Mall, Suite 260, Sacramento, California, 95814. We are just a few minutes away from our mandatory break to allow some rest time for our amazing ASL interpreters. When we return from break, Commissioner Taylor will take us through to the end of our meeting today. We will open up the phone lines for public comment, just general public comment, as well as public input. And with that, let's meet back here at 7:30.
Welcome back. Just a reminder to visit our website at wedrawthelinesca.org. You can also sign up for our emails to learn more about Commission meetings, updates, and announcements. Please connect with us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Again, our handle is @WeDrawTheLinesCA. Again, welcome back to the California Citizens Redistricting Commission COI input meeting. This session is specifically dedicated to those that did not have an appointment. However, if you had an appointment and were unable to call in during your time block, we encourage you to call in now. We will continue to take public input at this time and also invite public comment at this time. The phone line for public input and public comment will close at 8 p.m. We will get to all the callers who were in the queue at that time to include going beyond 8 p.m. if needed. I will pass this over to Katie, our comment moderator.
Thank you, Chair. In order to maximize transparency and public participation in our process, the Commissioners will be taking community of interest input and general public comment for items not on the agenda by phone at this time. To call in, dial the telephone number provided on the live stream feed. It is 877-853-5247. When prompted to enter the meeting ID number provided on the live stream feed, it is 881-0227-8556 for this meeting. When prompted to enter a participant ID, simply press the pound key. Once you have dialed in, you'll be placed in a queue. To indicate you wish to comment, please press *9. This will raise your hand for the moderator. When it is your turn to speak, you will hear a message that says, "The host would like you to talk," and to press *6 to speak. If you would like to give your name, please state and spell it for the record. You are not required to provide your name to give public comment. Please make sure to mute your computer or live stream audio to prevent any feedback or distortion during your call. Once you are waiting in the queue, be alert for when it is your turn to speak, and again, please turn down the live stream volume. And at this time, we have a caller with the last 4 digits, 8668, and then up next will be caller 7593. Caller with the last 4, 8668, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 8688. I think I was saying that. If you'll please press *6. Again, caller 8688. If you'll please press *6 on your telephone keypad to unmute at this time. Caller with the last 4 digits of your telephone number, 8688. If you will please press *6 on your telephone keypad. Okay, caller 8688, I am going to have to go to the next caller. If you will please call back and raise your hand again. Right now, we'll be going to caller 7593. If you will please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing *6. Caller 7593, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 42. If you will please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Can you hear me? Hello, caller.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Sorry about that. My name is Daniel Lee. I'm going to speak very briefly and very generally about Los Angeles County and about the need to keep all of the districts within Los Angeles County intact. I think losing a district in any part of Los Angeles County would eliminate some of the specificity and neighborhood nature of some of these districts that have had similar lines for a very, very long time. I think it would make a lot more sense to eliminate and or consolidate one district as is needed in the state of California in a less populous area than Los Angeles County, because frankly, we need more districts and more populated areas like Los Angeles County and not less. So I hope there is some effort to retain what we have in the LA Basin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right now we have caller 7374, and then up next will be caller 7916. Caller 7374, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 7374, you are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 43. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you have an area you would like to discuss, please let the mapper know what that is. And the floor is yours.
Thank you, commissioners, for taking the time to listen to all the communities here today and to myself. My name is Barry, and today I would like to speak to the community of the San Fernando Valley. So Mulholland Drive is the southern border of the San Fernando Valley at the top of the Hollywood Hills. The valley includes all the neighborhoods on the north side of the hills: Sherman Oaks, Encino, Woodland Hills, Reseda, Northridge. And much like the robust Little League system in the San Fernando Valley, each neighborhood is equipped with their own neighborhood council, which represents them before the city. So these councils are further organized within the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils, which in turn seeks to coordinate the empowerment of the valley as a whole. So I mention this in order to illustrate that the valley currently exists as a political entity. It may not be its own city, though it's certainly big enough, but it is currently acting as a community of shared political interest. So both the Valley Economic Alliance and the Valley Industry and Commerce Association, two organizations born out of the Northridge earthquake, as I understand it, are further examples of the San Fernando Valley acting as its own economic community of interest in addition to its own political group. So there is, however, one other thing that the community of the San Fernando Valley holds in common, that the communities of the San Fernando Valley hold in common, much stronger than any political or economic ties that bind them, and that is their shared isolation from the west side due to traffic congestion through the Sepulveda Pass. Attempting to move between the valley and the west side through the Sepulveda Pass can drive anybody crazy. The traffic is terrible. It's even reported that Elon Musk was sitting in traffic in the Sepulveda Pass when he received inspiration for his boring company that would allow him to tunnel under the cars sitting in traffic in front of him. And as of yet, no such tunnels have been made. But if anyone is going to successfully expand transit opportunities for the San Fernando Valley, it's going to be groups like the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils, the ICA, and the VEA. So groups that may effectively advocate for the valley as a whole. So as you draw the lines, please do your best to protect the population of the San Fernando Valley and do not attach valley folks to districts with majority populations that are outside of the valley. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Are you still there?
I am.
Can you describe for me in your own words what the east, west, north, and south borders are of the San Fernando Valley?
I don't know specifically where those are, but the separation between the entire valley and the west side through the Sepulveda Pass to me feels like the most important thing to keep intact.
Thank you.
Right now we will have caller with the last four 7916, and then up next will be caller with the last four 0956. Caller 7916, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute at this time. Caller 7916, your speaker order number will be 44. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you have an area you would like to discuss, please let the mapper know what that is. The floor is yours.
Thanks very much. Can you hear me okay?
We sure can.
Great.
Hello, commissioners. My name is Ben, and I'm calling to talk about the famous San Fernando Valley, which includes communities such as Encino, made famous in Encino Man, Sherman Oaks, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and many others. In the last 15 plus years, I've lived and worked on both sides of the Hollywood Hills, the city and the valley. And I would like the commissioners to consider the particular way in which the San Fernando Valley has been celebrated in popular culture over the years as a sort of doppelganger, contrasting with the glitzier Hollywood and Beverly Hills side of this industry town. In no film is this cultural dichotomy between the valley and the west side better explored than in David Lynch's aptly titled Mulholland Drive. As you're surely aware, Mulholland winds along the crest of the Hollywood Hills, representing both a physical and philosophical boundary between the San Fernando Valley and the west side. And in Lynch's dreamlike vision, people literally change when they cross Mulholland. His characters forget who they are, stumble down the wrong side of the hill, and sneak into homes that are not even their own. Of course, Lynch presses this theme into the surreal as his two leads, Naomi Watts and then Laura Herring, each split into two competing characters. Lynch's symbolism couldn't be clearer, that the San Fernando Valley is a separate world from the west side, with a different personality and an appeal to different people. As the commissioners draw the lines, I ask that you remember this masterpiece, Academy Award winning film. And remember that Mulholland separates more than just one side of a mountain from another. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Caller 0956. Then up next is caller in user 1, which I believe is also a blocked caller. So, caller 0956. If you'll please follow the prompts to unmute.
Hello.
Yes, hello. You are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 45, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you have an area you would like to discuss, please let the mapper know what that is, and the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Nahid Sumar, and I live in the Santa Clarita Valley area. And I just wanted to, I think some of the folks talked about San Fernando Valley earlier and trying to keep that distinct from the other areas of LA County. We're in a similar situation in Santa Clarita Valley, where we are another hill or another set of mountains north of San Fernando Valley, but we're still in LA County. And the communities within Santa Clarita Valley, such as Stevenson Ranch, Valencia, the city of Santa Clarita itself, Canyon Country, all of these share a common interest, or, you know, especially around transportation with the traffic jams that some of the folks talked about going into the main basin of LA and other areas of the state. And that's a common shared concern. We also have concerns around wildfire management. We're further inland where it gets really, really hot compared to the rest of the LA County. And dry, so our wildfire risks are high. We also share a lot of resources in terms of our schools. You know, we have multiple school districts that kind of feed into each other. So we have a lot of common interests, and it would be, you know, my recommendation would be to keep that community whole, and in similar districts when you do draw the line. And our interests are similar to San Fernando Valley, but in some aspects, you know, we are a little bit different as well. So definitely keep us together for sure.
Thank you.
Up next is going to be call in user 1. I'd like to invite those in the queue to please press *9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. Again, please press *9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. But at this time, we do have call in user 1. Please follow the prompts that you hear from Zoom at this time. in user 1, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be number 45, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss today, the floor is yours. Oh, one moment. You are 46. I apologize. Now the floor is yours.
Thank you. This is public comment as well as?
Yes, public comment as well.
Okay. So I just wanted to speak about neighborhood councils for the city of Los Angeles, just for background, because there was some reference made, several references made during this meeting. The city of Los Angeles has 99 certified neighborhood councils. They comprise most of the area of the city of Los Angeles, but there are a few communities that don't have certified neighborhood councils, 2 of them by choice, Pacific Palisades and Brentwood. They have community councils that are, but the rest of the city has certified neighborhood councils with a few small exceptions. And while some communities may have a neighborhood council that encompasses the entire community, there are some communities that have multiple neighborhood councils. But in all cases, with regards to the legislative districts that this commission is charged with, the population of those legislative districts far exceeds the population of the neighborhood council. So there is, for those areas that have multiple neighborhood councils, such as Northridge or North Hollywood or Hollywood, you know, it could very easily be that those neighborhood councils that are a subset of those communities could be combined together and there would be no objection. I think what the objection has been by many of the neighborhood councils, not all, but many, was when they're divided, they're split apart in some of the legislative lines. And that is something that the commission should consider. And, you know, there are a number of examples. The one that comes to mind for state legislative boundaries is in the North Valley. Devonshire Street was used for state senate and for, I think, for state assembly. So, and that divided several neighborhood councils because the dividing line is the 118 freeway, which is a much more of a significant boundary line, both physically, but also in terms of zip codes, in terms of the community names, et cetera. So that's just an example. I would ask that the commission look at every one of these as you're going through and just see, you know, what happened 10 years ago and just try not to repeat drawing those lines so that they split state legislative or congressional districts in different pieces for individual neighborhood councils. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And to our listening public, the phone lines will be closing at 8 p.m. Please get in the queue so we can listen to your input before adjourning the meeting for the day. And it's all yours, Katie.
All right. Right now we have caller 2054, and then up next we will have caller 8688. Caller 2054, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 2054, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 47, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you'll please let the mapper know of an area if you would like to discuss it, the floor is yours.
Good evening. I'm calling to keep Long Beach together. My name is Rhiannon Acree, and I have lived in Long Beach now for 40 years and have actually worked here for 40 years. I'm also on the Long Beach Chamber Board and do follow the legislation as much as possible. So the reason I feel that Long Beach should stay together is I serve the people of Long Beach through a company that I started 25 years ago, invested in Long Beach, and I know about the hard work that our leaders have put into keeping Long Beach safe. And as you know, we have our own public health department. And so it's a very unique community. It's a very diverse community. And in the last round of restrictions, in the past census, we did stay together. And I believe we should stay together. Again, there are many of our leaders fully committed to making Long Beach continue on its path of thriving and serving all people and keeping all people together and safe. It is not broken. So thank you very much. I know you've got a lot of work to do, but this is for the people of Long Beach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Right now we have a caller with the last four 8688, and then up next will be caller 1767. I do invite those in the queue to please press star 9 to raise your hand indicating you wish to comment as we come to the end of the night. Caller 8688, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute by pressing star 6. Caller 8688, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions. Your speaker order number will be 48, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you have an area you would like to discuss, please let the mapper know what that is, and the floor is yours.
Yes, Pomona, City of Pomona.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the commissioners for taking the time to hear me. My name's Carlos Goiti. I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Pomona. I just want to speak to the fact that, you know, Pomona sits in a unique area. Just to give you a little brief history, Pomona, you know, happens to sit in an area that's surrounded by more affluent cities. We're kind of like the orange in a basket of apples, so to speak. Really like for the commissioners to really take that into consideration when redrawing the lines for the city of Pomona. Pomona is a middle-class working town. We're home of the LA County Fairgrounds, and of course, you know, we have you know, our legislative, congressional, and assembly districts happen to be in not only LA County, but in the San Bernardino County as well. So, you know, I just want to make sure that the commissioners, you know, take into consideration when redrawing the lines that, you know, Pomona, we are the gateway to the Inland Empire, and if you're coming from the Inland Empire into the San Gabriel Valley, we are the gateway into the San Gabriel Valley. We kind of get lost in the shuffle a lot of times because we're the eastern San Gabriel Valley, and typically we're kind of the stepchild of the Inland Empire and of the San Gabriel Valley, because with hence the Pomona Valley, you know, why we you know, and we just want the commission to take that into consideration because we do sit in a, you know, in a unique area. I like to say that we are the hub of, you know, of the region. So yeah, I just want to share that with you, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
Chair, do you have an announcement you would like to make at this time?
I do. Final announcement. The phone lines will be closing at 8 p.m. Please get in the queue so we can listen to your input before adjourning for the day. We want your input. Please get in the queue so we can listen to it before this meeting ends. Thank you.
Is our 7:55 announcement? All right, now I would like to ask those in the queue. I do have one hand up, caller 1767. You will be right now. And those still in the queue that do have more to say, please press star 9, raise your hand indicating you wish to comment. Caller 1767, please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 1767, you are unmuted. I have a couple of brief instructions for you. Your speaker order number will be 49. If you'll please make note of that for future reference. If you have an area you would like to discuss, please let the mapper know what that is. The floor is yours.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Deanna Pittman, and I'm a member of the Compton Tenants Union. I'm a member of Community Coalition and the People's Bloc. I'm a resident of Compton, and I've lived here for 24 years. The community is primarily Black and brown, made up of service workers and domestic workers. And for a long time, a lot of people who live in Compton have owned their homes, but with the state of housing and gentrification, displacement, and now COVID, these numbers are changing. But despite the odds, Compton is a vibrant community. We've got 4 high schools, a community college, an airport, churches, nonprofits, and a rising number of community groups. However, Compton is a city that's boxed in by 4 major highways. The 91, the 105, the 110, and the 710 are 4 major highways that transport hundreds of thousands of cars a day, emitting ridiculous amounts of carbon dioxide into our neighborhood. My community is similar to Watts, parts of Long Beach, Linwood, and South Central. We're very much different from Beverly Hills or even Santa Monica. It's important to keep our community together because we face environmental racism, police terrorism, houselessness, and increasing housing insecurity. By keeping us together in one district, our representatives and the residents can continue to organize for the much needed social change. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you.
Right now we have caller 7693, and then up next will be caller 6676. Caller 7693, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. You are unmuted. Your speaker order number will be number 50, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. If you'll please let the mapper know what area you would like to discuss, or if you have general comment, please give that now. Hello?
I spoke before. I don't know if I can give an additional comment.
You can. This is general public comment. Please do.
Thank you so much. Okay, so my name is Chris, and I told you about West Hills. And I've listened to the comments of a lot of people who would like to include Simi Valley within the Antelope Valley, Santa Clarita Valley area. I really believe that's gerrymandering. They are not contiguous, compact communities of district. In fact, I went to Simi Valley yesterday via the Canyon roads and came back via the 118 freeway. Simi Valley and Moore Park are in Ventura County and really are contiguous and compact with the other communities in Ventura County. And so, as I mentioned, while I'd like for the San Fernando Valley to be whole and have maybe 2 Senate districts within that, I believe that Ventura County should also have their own Senate district and their own congressional district. And as I said before, take Bell Canyon out because the only way they're landlocked, they're landlocked with the San Fernando Valley, but the rest of it, Simi Valley, Thousand Oaks, and all those. And as someone mentioned the Northridge earthquake earlier today, on the day of the Northridge earthquake, I actually went to Thousand Oaks to escape the valley because my house was that damaged. When the Woolsey fire hit, a lot of the people that live along the 101 freeway, Agora Hills and things like that, they all evacuated to Woodland Hills and further east into the San Fernando Valley. So these areas are tied together, but really, sincerely, there should be a separate district boundary that would occur. You know, as I said, we would need Calabasas is in the north of Mulholland, Hidden Hills is north of Mulholland, West Hills, unincorporated West Hills, Bell Canyon, and everything. And if there wasn't 2 million people, I would go as far as the county line of Agora Hills for Ellie. Yes, right there for and even Westlake Village if you had to add to get 2 million. But the rest of that up there, that's where the boundary line is. That should be a Ventura County Senate district and congressional district. There is a congressional district there now. And so to be contiguous, compact communities of interest, Ventura County should be whole.
30 seconds.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We do have one more raised hand at this time. Caller 6676, if you will please follow the prompts to unmute. Caller 6676, your speaker order number will be number 51, if you'll please make note of that for future reference. And if you have an area you would like to discuss, please let the mapper know what that is. The floor is yours.
Okay. My name is Sally Robinson. I live in Simi Valley. I own a business in Simi Valley. I've been here about 40 years. We're in the 25th Congressional District. I would like to see the rest of Simi Valley in that district as well. But I'd also like to include Moore Park. That's our sister city. We need to have Moore Park. We are together. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that's all of our comment at this time, Chair.
Thank you, Katie. If you can just go over the process to unmute one more time, I think that might be it.
The other person in the queue is the lady who just spoke and gave her second comment.
All right. Well, you're on it. Thank you very much. We are at time. Does any commissioner have anything of note to add or contribute as we come to a close? All right, I am seeing none. I would like to thank our community of California for providing their input over the last 2 days. I think we've had a very robust discussion. I'm especially appreciative of some of our young community members that provided input yesterday and continue to follow up today. So I am encouraged by the participation we're getting from our community members from the community of the California Citizens Redistricting Commission. Thank you for joining our Community of Interest Input meeting today. We have 2 upcoming COI public input meetings. The first is tomorrow, Saturday, July 31st at 10 a.m. And it's focused on Riverside and San Bernardino counties and their surrounding areas. The next one is on Wednesday, August 4th at 4 p.m., focused on Fresno, Kern, Kings, Madera, Merced, San Joaquin, Stanislaus, and Tulare counties and their surrounding areas. The August 4th meeting will have both Spanish and Punjabi listening lines and available interpretation. Our next business meeting is this coming Thursday, August 5th at 10 a.m. Callers at the Community of Interest meetings are not limited to the specifically mentioned counties. You can visit the meetings page at our website to see a list of additional COI input meetings at www.wedrawthelinesca.org/meetings. And with that, thank you, commissioners, for your attentiveness. Thank you, Californians, for your participation. This meeting is adjourned.